CKRM News. Regina police have charged a second person in relation to a homicide yesterday morning. This happened when police responded to the 1100 block of Elphinstone Street. Upon arrival, police found a 42-year-old woman and a 37-year-old man dead outside a residence. Now, 42-year-old Rose Sparvier has been charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. Earlier today, 19-year-old Patricia Stevenson was charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder and weapons charges. 120 years later, and one of Saskatchewan's first black settler families will soon be honored in the city of Regina. The city plans to change the name of Armour Road to Lafayette Road. Carol Lafayette Boyd's grandfather moved to Regina in 1906 and says this process has stirred up interest in younger family members wanting to know more about their family's history.
My youngest granddaughter, she's talking about taking over the family ancestry in the tree from me to make sure it continues. And we had a family trees at the reunion.
The name change will only affect the Regina portion of the road, not the part that extends into the RM of Sherwood. The Canadian Taxpayers Federation is urging Prime Minister Mark Carney to keep the federal gas tax cut in place. The temporary relief is set to expire in September. This would add 10 cents a litre back to the cost of filling up. Prairie Director Gage Hobrick says a hike is not what the country needs right now.
But right now his plan is to hike that tax back up by 10 cents per litre in September. But that's the last thing that Canadians want.
Hobrick notes that opposition to the planned increase is strongest in Saskatchewan and in Manitoba. More than 1,300 students in Regina have applied for the Salvation Army's school backpack program. The fundraising goal has reached 55%. Organizers say one backpack costs more than $100. That's close to a 20% increase in 2 years. Salvation Army Community Church Corps Officer Tim Frazier says other community meal programs could be affected if fundraising falls short.
It can adjust everything from our feeding programs, our community lunches to our Saturday night meal programming, having to reduce the amount of meals that we can provide on a daily or nightly basis, because we have to make up the money somehow.
The Regina Community Church has run the program for 15 years. That's 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sastoday.ca and 620ckrm.com.
Weather for B&A Petroleum and Swift Current with multiple locations serving southern Saskatchewan for over 30 years. See B&A Petroleum for all your fuel and propane needs.
Weather tonight looking partly cloudy, low down to 10 degrees. Tomorrow cloudy. We do have a chance of shower, about a 40% chance in the area, and a high of 20. Tomorrow night, spotty showers. Some steady rain after midnight in the area as well. 80% chance, down to 13. Friday, rain tapers into showers and a high of 17. Saturday, we're partly sunny and a high of 21. And Sunday, sun mixing with some afternoon cloud and a high of 23. Right now, in downtown Regina, corner of 12th and Rose, partly cloudy sky. It is 23 degrees.
B&A Petroleum is a southern Saskatchewan family-owned business that's there for you. They've been supporting their clients for over 30 years with locations in several communities throughout the southern part of the province. B&A Petroleum is available for all your bulk fuel and lubricant needs, with propane at selected locations Monday to Friday. And don't forget, their Cardlock location is accessible 24 hours for your convenience. B&A Petroleum. Fuel you once, fuel you forever.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Regina Motor Products. RMP summer offer on now until August 31st. Receive a $25 SO gift card with purchase of a vehicle health check and oil change package. Visit RMP today. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
How's it out there on this Wednesday? the Sports Cage. How you doing, Sasky, or wherever you're listening to the program? Because we are on all the audio streams. If you want to pick it up on a TuneIn, any of those, Google as well. We are on 620 CKRM, border to border. 100-year-old 620 CKRM, the voice of the Riders. And of course, you can watch this program on YouTube, or as Rob Vanstone calls it, TV, through sportscage.com. It's all encompassing here on the Cage for Regina Motor Products on this Wednesday. The summer offer still on until the 31st. You need a vehicle health check or oil change, they're going to give you a $25 SO gift card with that. But I say, if you're going in there, buy yourself a Corvette. Treat yourself. You only live once. Regina Motor Products, good people, great stock out there too. Some nice trucks out there. All of our guests join us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Western Pizza, that Regina style pizza you miss when you can't have it. Lasagna, souvlaki, salads, maybe a little Western Pizza tonight for you and your crew. Speaking of the Western Pizza guest hotline, how about this for a rundown on a Wednesday when it's just Coulson and I? Just the two of us. Is that a song? Yeah, it is.
Just the two.
There you go. We have updates from rider practice, specifically the kicking game, where we haven't been that good this year. Let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not lie. Let's not look at ourselves in the mirror and go, we still look good. I don't. And our kicking game isn't that good. We are going to have TSN's Craig Button, the hockey analyst, on. Did you watch the Holinka Gretzky tournament? Armatic Schultz and Liam Pugh from the Regina Pats, they were underagers at that tournament. Did they turn heads? Craig Button was all over him. He's coming on at about 3:30. In hour two, we just found out, and we think he's coming, Chris Streveler, former NFL quarterback, former quarterback with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, can wear the you-know-what out of a fur coat at a parade as well. Chris Streveler is going to join us to start hour two. Clutch performer. Did you hear what happened in Calgary? Calgary Flames fans, congratulations. You have a place to listen to Calgary Flames games this year. It's going to be on QR77 in Calgary. And who do we always talk to from QR77? Jock Wilson. So Jock Wilson's going to come by. We're going to talk about the new deal. And of course, I got to ask him about a little Calgary Stampeders BC Lions coming up tomorrow night, where a Joe makes his first start as a Calgary Stampeder. But that receiving corps is really good in Calgary when you look at it. Coulson and I were Roofball when Roofball wasn't cool. What are you talking about? If you have a cellular telephone right now, if you're near a computer, look up Roofball. It's a legitimate activity. Are we calling it a sport, Coulson?
It has an open tournament. It has a championship. Why not?
That could be maybe my first question for Adam, who's going to join us from Roofball of America.
Roofball Federation of America.
We've all played kind of a similar game as children, maybe as adults. If you play it as an adult, you might want to get in on this Roofball thing. And if you do it by yourself, your neighbors definitely think you're weird. But we will talk Roofball in hour two. Hour three, midweek sound off with our boy, the old 96er, Schultz, is coming in. And the junior football report, Dave Thomas talking to, I think it's the quarterback of the Regina Thunder today. That's in hour three. You can ask questions, can chime in, whatever you want on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. Prairie Land Rentals, shop located at 600 Albert Street in Regina, where you can rent a belt sander or a big sander or a little sander, as I found out. You can also get some gardening tools, front end loader, whatever you need. And then they're the Husqvarna dealer of choice. Warranty, you get to deal with the owner. Prairie Land Rentals. The text line number 936-6262, 306-936-6262. It's Where Do You Land Wednesday as well.
Where do you land Wednesday?
If you think that's stupid, it's because it is. But we still continue to do it. And today, my question, and people can kind of jump in where they want, it stems from something that happened in our area late May, almost into June, where UFC WWE star Brock Lesnar went for a meet and greet at a local hardware store in the area, and the lineup to go and see him, people were in line for hours, and the lineup stretched. Not that it was blocks, because it wasn't really city blocks, but it stretched for blocks and blocks and blocks. So I'm like wondering, who would you stand in line for hours to meet? Or have you? Have you stood in line for hours to meet someone? I remember there was a Connor Bedard signing a few years ago with the Regina Pats, and people stood in line for a long time to meet Connor, have Connor sign something. Understandable. If you're watching the stream, Coulson found some pictures of the lineup. It was insane. Now me, Coulson, I don't know. I'm an impatient guy. Like, if you got an amusement park and long lineups to get on rides, I'm not your guy. I'll get aggravated. I'll get hangry. I'll get pouty. I just won't do it. So standing in line for hours to meet someone. Now, if you're a kid, I think totally different situation. If you're a kid and you want to meet a hero or celebrity or whatever, you'll stand in line. I don't think I've ever done it. Have you?
To meet somebody, I don't think so. I'm trying to remember. There's not very many people that I would stand in line to meet. I just don't think I have that many quote unquote heroes, whatever you want to call them. As a kid though, absolutely. Like it could be Gainer, right? As a kid, getting to meet Gainer the Gopher, that could be a big thing. Now, as a kid, I was terrified of mascots.
With Don
so
Hewitt. With Don Hewitt as Gainer the Gopher.
There we go.
I don't know, man. Like, I would say my tops would be half hour, 20 minutes, and then I'm out. And I don't even know who that would be. Like a big music guy.
Yeah.
So maybe, but not to be like, oh, I've met so many people. I've met Kenny Chesney. That was cool, and his guy, I met Drew Bledsoe. He's kind of my favorite football player. That's why I became a Patriots fan.
Yep.
Tom Brady, 10 minutes max. Did I ever tell you my Steph Curry story?
No.
I'll tell the Steph Curry story in a minute. I'm not even a big basketball fan, but it's pretty cool, and it'll give you a look behind how impatient I am. How impatient. But Rider practice today. People are here. A lot of people are here to talk about this. Kicker Dawson Hodge, who just came in last week, took every rep, as we understand, and was challenged, just like the kickers in training camp in Saskatoon. He made all of his kicks from what our eye in the sky had, including Coulson, a 57-yard field goal.
Nice.
Yes. So there was competition at the kicking position today. Coach Mace was asked straight up, will you be making a change at kicker this week?
Yeah, we'll see. Today we put Dawson through the ringer like we did with the kickers in camp. He never had a chance to do that. So put him through the ringer today, a little pressure cooker situation. But well, like anything else, we'll make a decision at the end of the week.
Okay. Not giving us a lot. I thought for sure he was going to call him a young buck. I thought Coach Mace was going to throw out young buck. We haven't had a young buck in a couple weeks. Coach Mace. Hey, John, if you're listening, Get on your boy. We need some young buck stuff. But let's hear from the head coach on how Hodge looked.
Hey, you look pretty good. Yeah.
That's nothing.
There we go. Chest vest, cards, close. Do you have that kicking stat?
Yeah, this one
that I sent. If you're not watching the stream at YouTube through sportscage.com, if you are, Colson says, please hit the like button and subscribe. Colson and Curtis, they say, please do that, by the way. But we have the field goal leaderboard up. So if you're listening on the radio or on the audio streams, I'll kind of go through this for you. This is as of Monday. Brett Lawther, who's injured, still 20 for 20. His long is 51%. 100% kicking in Ottawa. He won't be kicking in the postseason if he comes back, but he's still kicking in Ottawa, doing a good job. Brett's a good dude. Jose Maltos. He's only missed one. His long's 50. He's second. Blanchard from Edmonton, who we saw kick one from the train tracks.
pretty much.
Yeah, into the real campus. His long is 57. He's missed two. Sean White from BC. He's been around. We know him. He's next and fourth. Then we can go down the list. Sergio Castillo in 7 from Winnipeg surprises me.
Yeah.
That one surprises me. And then in 9, not to pile on, but we got to talk about it, our Alex Hale from the Riders. 73.7%.
At least he's got a 48-yarder now, because I remember seeing this a couple of weeks ago, and he was at like 36 was his longest.
Yes. So. Yeah. That's a good point. I don't know. 936 62 62. Are you expecting a change at kicker this weekend? The only thing is, as I sit here and think about it now, the coffee's kicking in. Isn't Hamilton a really difficult place to kick? You got some weird winds there.
It can be. I think there was a game a few years ago where there was like a windstorm and they kicked and it was straight into down the middle of the uprights, but the wind was so strong that it just stopped it dead right in front of the uprights. I think that was in Hamilton a few years ago.
And there was that weird one in Montreal and that weird storm.
Yeah.
Went around. I don't know if that was a punt or a kick, but I don't know. Yeah, that maybe not the time to put in young Dawson Hodge. But Coach Mace, he isn't letting us know on that. Prairie Land Rentals text line. Chili Willie on the Where Do You Land Wednesday. I agree, Barney. I'm almost 65 years old, and I'm not waiting in line. That is more than 5 minutes, maybe 6, but that's it. In the mid-'80s, though, I lived in Hawaii for 7+ years. Pro Bowl NFL every year. So you would stand in line in Hawaii in the mid-'80s to meet, I guess. Back in the 90s, I would have stood in line to meet Kiana from Kiana's Flex Appeal. I stood in line for an hour to meet her. Speaking of working out on a beach. James Hamilton coming at us on the text line. Hey boys, I'm waiting in line for hours for the president of the U.S. all day. James. That might get some people talking. 936 62 62. Who else do we have here? Rick said he stood in line for 2 hours, wants to meet Wayne Gretzky. Rick. Here's my meeting Wayne Gretzky story. Didn't really meet. Got him to sign his book, which I think I took from the library at school and then just didn't return it. Statute of limitations. Is that done?
It's the school library, not the public library, so you're fine. They can't fine you. It's
now the Delta Hotel in Saskatoon, the Two Towers. Mm-hmm. It was the Canada Cup exhibition series that's early 90s. And I had his book, and there was word that he was at David's Lounge on Circle Drive. And he was, but we went there, and we were too late. Oh. It's like when Homer Simpson went to meet Mr. T at the mall. And he kept saying, "You'll go a bit later. You'll go a bit later." But then we heard they're on their way to the hotel. So I think my sister's boyfriend at the time drove me down to the Delta. Well, the Russian team was coming off the bus. I remember this. Russian team's coming off the bus. And you had some players on the Russian team there. And who kind of is filtering in with the Russians? There was a few of them, but the great one, Gretzky. There he is in front of me. And I followed kind of into the hotel as far as I could. And I said, "Mr. Gretzky, can you sign my book?" And I had a Sharpie, which I probably took from school as well. And he signed the book. And I was like, well, they're never getting this book back now. It's all. Yeah. I was so excited. Obviously nervous. Gretzky, swear to God. I get home later. We walk back, all that. I look at the book. Smudged.
Oh.
Because my hand was so sweaty. I still have it. It's in a box somewhere. It's like a smudged Wayne Gretzky.
Dang.
And the book was like when laminated-ish or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So it was hard to...
What about your Steph story? Your Steph Curry story?
That's a longer one. People are like,
we'll save that.
We'll get to that one in a bit. Text here. Andrew's coming at us. I think we can expect a change at kicker this week based on what we're hearing from practice. Do we know Hale's longest from camp or practice? He nailed a few at camp. Him and Kim were going long.
Yeah, Dave Thomas was saying they were hitting some long ones, definitely 50-yarders, if not longer. I think Kim was hitting a few in the 60-yard range with the wind at his back, but camp was a while ago.
Yeah, and then our boy AM Andy says, "I'm with you, man. Not waiting in line to meet anyone." Okay, maybe I'm in the majority here. Brandon, I think Hale will start, but Coach Mace's patience will be short. I'd wait hours to get Sportscage autographs or chug a beer with Barney. I'd chug a beer with you. Haven't we chugged a beer before in the Sportscage lounge? Yeah, that's good. Willie's back. He says in Hawaii, Sylvester Stallone and Bridget Nielsen, fiance, came to World's Gym. I was 24 years old then. He chatted briefly with me. We actually did a few sets working out as he took over. Oh, what are you doing? Pec deck? What do you got for us? Maybe the old fly machine?
He also said he was waiting after practice to get photos with the Pro Bowlers. So Lawrence Taylor, Eric Dickerson, Joe Montana.
Did you see, Willie, that they're just ripping down the Aloha Bowl right now? They're dismantling it. It's like 50,000 seats in the middle of the ocean. That stadium. They used to have an unreal flea market around it. That's what I remember the one time I went to Oahu. I remember the flea market and buying real baggy pants. It's a Sportscage. We'll come back with some more Rider audio. When we come back, we'll hear from Coach Mace on what he expects from Harrison Frost, from the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and more. We're streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
The Country Music Rewind with Colin Lovequist.
We're going to take you back to this time period. 1990 was an absolute turning point for the genre. The 90s country explosion was just starting to detonate, blending the storytelling roots of traditional honky-tonk with a clean, radio-friendly production style that caught the attention of millions of new fans.
The Country Music Rewind with Colin Lovequist. Brought to you by Crawford's No Frills. Saturday afternoons at 4 and Sunday afternoons at 1 on Country's Greatest Hits, 620 CKRM.
Why test for asbestos? Because before 1990, asbestos was commonly used in more than 3,000 building materials and other products. Because when asbestos fibers become airborne, they get into the lungs and cause severe damage over time. Because asbestos exposure is the #1 cause of work-related deaths in Saskatchewan. Built before 1990? Test for asbestos. Start at WorksafeSask.ca.
have you seen the patio at Pump Jack's Cathedral?
Seen it? I've practically moved in.
Do they at least charge you rent?
Only if I stop ordering food.
I don't blame you. Great food, daily food and drink specials.
30 beers on tap, including local favorites.
And there's no better place to catch the game with friends.
So what are we waiting for?
I'm waiting for this conversation to be over. Let's go.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, Pump Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. Don't just hang a door, install a Steelcraft. Turn curb appeal into curb envy.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Steel-craft.ca.
Welcome back to Sportscage. Connect with the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262.
Sprinkle of the day for Sports Select, sportselect.com. You can make your picks online. It generates a QR code. You go to the Lotto Spot retailer, scan, or you can fill out the slips like we've been doing since the 80s. Every bet is legal, a chance of winning cash in hand. How about those Blue Jays? Colin Lovequist, if you're listening. Now they're 2.5 back. So I'm looking at the Blue Jays at home again to Boston Red Sox. I think they're closing out the set. They've won 2. These are big wins for them. I have no idea who's pitching, but Toronto is a dog at home, 255. You got to win by 2 runs. The tie is paying 3. The point spread, Toronto getting a half point, and the over-under 7.
They do play again tomorrow.
Oh, it's a 4-gamer.
Yeah, tomorrow at 1:07 our time.
Oh, the old Hawaiian breakfast special. Over-under 7. See, I don't know anything on this one, but I would take the tie. You know me. I'm crazy. 1-point ball game. Paying 3. Blue Jays tie. That's your sprinkle of the day for Sports Select. Every bet is 100% legal. Cash days here. Supporting sport, culture, and recreation. Sportselect.com. We got a couple text messages here. Trey says he waited in line 2 hours to meet Doug Flutie. Okay, I get you. Is that like when he was playing, I wonder, or after? Hammy again saying, I met James Vaughters getting gas at Harbor Landing yesterday, 7 a.m. Really nice guy. Told him everyone here thinks number 50 is the next Lawrence Taylor. He laughed. Thinks I'm Jimmy Kimmel. 7 a.m. Early riser. Vaughters. Shelley says waited in line an hour to meet Shawn Michaels. Another wrestler. Wrestlers and UFC fans, very passionate though. I can see that. Nico, I would wait in line to have a beer with Suits. Good call. Suits is a great guy. Great guy, Suits. CFL games this week. We talked about a Joe coming back tomorrow night. Calgary hosting BC. Ottawa, Winnipeg. Is anybody in Winnipeg listening? Are you guys talking about, is this the game? Are we going to be the ones that Ottawa beats? 0-8. Winnipeg's 4-4. We got Chris Streveler, hopefully an hour or two. Maybe he'll weigh in on that one. Toronto at Edmonton. Intriguing there. Edmonton at home. Toronto coming off a win over Calgary, or maybe they shouldn't have. Maybe they should have. And then, of course, Saski and Hamilton this week. I can see what the Yacht Club's saying. Betting tomorrow night will be good. Maybe a little Joe anytime touchdown.
Maybe.
Hey, I've been taking Damian Alford anytime touchdown, and it hasn't been cashing. So we'll see. We'll see if I can turn that around. Back to Coach Mace today, and his clips and his outlook on things. What Harrison Frost, what he expects and what he brings to the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Yeah, every quarterback brings something different to any system that they're in. Harrison, he's doing a good job, man. I think week to week, progressively, he's getting better. Probably just more comfort in the system with the guys he's working with. So yeah, man, they're operating pretty good as an offense there. With Harrison in there. But again, like anything, just always got to be prepared for anything else that could be thrown at us defensively. But yeah, man, just going to look for them to be a better version of what we saw last time. Just having a quarterback there that's had a couple more game experience this year than the rotation of what they were doing before.
He was 20 of 33 against BC, 239 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I haven't seen him play. I didn't watch that game. So I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think. See, I said it yesterday, and Arash disagreed with me. I said, is Hamilton, are they maybe not a bad team? Are the bones there of a good football team? And Arash said no. That's not happening. So, okay. You want to go to break? Quick? Okay, we're going to go to break here, and then I think we're trying to get Craig Button on the line. Hear what he has to say about Maddox, Schultz, Liam Pugh, and that Team Canada team that won at the Lincoln Congrats. Keep your text messages coming. I love this one. Kong, whoever that is. I would wait hours in line to meet Jenna Jameson. That's a good one. It is the Sports Cage. We are streaming at YouTube, sportscage.com, and on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
The Roughriders season is here, and the biggest 50-50 in Saskatchewan is back. Last year's 50-50 raised over $3.3 million for amateur football in Saskatchewan, and we couldn't do it without you. Thank you, Rider Nation. This year, we have bigger loyalty and early bird prizes than ever before, not to mention those life-changing 50-50 jackpots. See all of the prizes and buy your tickets today at riders5050.ca, and never miss a chance to win when you sign up for the 50-50 Club.
Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
Lottery license LR260010.
Winter in Saskatchewan tests everything, our patience, vehicles, and sometimes our bumpers. From icy parking lot dings to serious highway mishaps, choosing local matters. At Regina Motor Products Collision Center, we're Saskatchewan owned, run, and we drive these roads too. An SGI accredited full-service collision center working on all makes and models. Submit your SGI claim and book your appraisal. It's easy. When you need repairs you can trust, it's neighbors helping neighbors. Regina Motor Products Collision Center, south at Highways 1 and 6 Albert Street, rmpchevrolet.com.
Great coaches make great calls. And at home, you're in control of the game. Add SaskTel TV to your lineup and enjoy popular channels, including sports in stunning 4K for as low as $40 a month. So, what do you say, Coach? Ready to add in the difference maker? Visit SaskTel.com/make-the-call to learn more. Conditions apply.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. Powered by Prairie Land Rentals. From power tools to skid steers, they probably have what you need for your job. 600 Albert Street, where you deal with the owner. Welcome back to Sports Cage. Check out our podcast powered by Freeze Tolman. Available anytime, anywhere at 620ckrm.com and sportscage.com.
For Regina Motor Products on this Wednesday, Zach up in Saskatoon says he would wait in line to meet American legend Karch Curley, considered the greatest volleyball player of all time. All right. I've never heard of that name in my life, but I am not a big volleyball guy. Loved playing it in elementary school, though. Barb waited hours to meet Garth Brooks. Could see that. 936-6262, Prairie Line Rentals text line. Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation 50-50. You got till tomorrow night at 10 p.m. You're going to buy a 50-50. You might as well get in for the early bird prize. What's up for grabs this week? Montreal getaway 4-2. Package includes return flights from Saskatchewan to Montreal, 4 nights hotel accommodations at the 4-star W Montreal. That's in the heart of downtown Montreal. Sounds like a nice hotel. Probably an ice maker on every floor kind of hotel. Or you can take $4,500 cash if you don't want to go to Montreal. But the deadline is tomorrow night, 10 p.m., riders5050.ca. We had Craig Button. Then he disconnected. We had some, so we'll bring him back. Oh, somebody messaged in too, Prairie Line Rentals, about pick the score. We will have that coming up at some point today to win some tickets to the next Rider home game. So you just got to, maybe it'll be a call, maybe it will be a text, but regardless, we will have tickets and play SaskTel pick the score. Kilrye is how you pronounce the volleyball player's name. I am sorry about that, Zach. He's coming at me, knee pads and all. So yeah, that's good. Western Pizza tonight. Oh, how about a wheel? Souvlaki, salad. Wednesday's a salad day. Let's go get a souvlaki and a Greek salad from Western Pizza. Craig Button is joining us, TSN hockey analyst and insider. Craig, nice to see you again. You look busy. But you're coming off a busy week. How many games in total did you guys call?
10.
Is that standard? That's okay for you?
Yeah, that's not a problem. I mean, the games are, it's not like we're moving around. We're in one rink, got early game, got a late game, got excitement watching these young players play. So it's pretty straightforward. I mean, we do it at the World Junior, we do it at the U18, we do it at the World Championships. So it's not anything new for us or anything strenuous for us.
I feel like there was a sense of relief on social media. Some people that I was talking to, that Canada kind of gets off the snide when it comes to winning an international hockey tournament. I know this isn't an IHF event necessarily, but is it nice for Canada hockey to get a win under its belt?
I don't think there's any question, especially when you think about, leading up to this Hlinka Gretzky Cup. The last win for Canada internationally was at the U18 in 2025 in Texas. So, you go through, the Olympics, and we're talking women's and men's hockey, all the way from U18 to World Junior to Olympics to World Championships. Yeah, when you have your best players available to you like Canada does with the Hlinka Gretzky Cup, everybody's gunning for you. You have a bullseye on you. And that's just part and parcel of wearing the Maple Leaf. But I think that, watching how they played, watching how they came together, watching ultimately how they took command of the tournament and won, I think there's a sense of satisfaction and relief that might be just as equal, if not a little bit more.
Story goes at the Royal Regina this weekend at the club championship that you were sitting at a table with the great Ross Mahoney a couple of years back chatting, and someone said there's a Maddox Schultz kid from Regina that you need to keep an eye on. So, wise tale start, and they're saying that he learnt about Maddox Schultz at the Royal Regina here. I'm not so sure about that. How much did you know about Maddox, his game, and Liam Pugh going into this? Because you're pretty dialed when it comes to the scouting side of things.
I am, but I don't want to jump in too early. And you got to remember at that time I was at the golf club. I was with Ross Mahoney, and the golf pro at the golf club had coached Maddox, and he was the one that told us. We sat there, and again, I'm not going out to watch 14-year-olds. I'll be very clear. That's not what I'm going to do. But he made it very clear that this player was somebody that was really gifted, that was amongst his age group, the 2010 in Western Canada, in his opinion, the best player. My son-in-law was working for the Western Hockey League, who worked in player recruitment and development, Taylor Green. So I quickly turned to him and asked him about Maddox Schultz, and he said, well, he should be the first overall pick. That fall, ironically, I came into Regina for my cousin's daughter's wedding. And I happened to be in the airport, and I saw Colin Priestner from the Saskatoon Blades. And he said, what are you doing here? I said, I'm here for a wedding. I said, what are you doing here? He goes, I'm here to watch this Bantam tournament. And he said, and he told me Schultz was playing. So I went over and watched an afternoon game with Schultz, and it became pretty obvious that he was pretty dominant. They won the championship that year with the U15s, and then from there, I mean, it's pretty easy to follow a player. Liam Pugh, I did not. Alan Miller was the manager in Regina. I mean, they drafted Maddox, and then he made the trade to get Liam Pugh at 3rd overall in that draft. So I certainly had a pretty good sense of what was unfolding there. And then at the U17 last year in Nova Scotia, you could be a blind person and see how good these two guys were.
Maddox Schultz, shout out Regina Pat Blues. Yeah, they won everything that year. Unbelievable. Let's start maybe with Maddox then. Does he remind you of anyone at that age?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always careful about saying, but the way he plays the game, I mean, it's reminiscent of the way that Crosby plays it, Taves plays it, Celebrini plays it, and what is that? That's a center that commands the game, that plays it in every single regard and all of its details at a high level. I mean, that's so. I mean, you sit down and you watch these young players, and you watch not only how good they are, but their maturity, their understanding of the game. Pressures mount as you get into in any type of tournament, and certainly when you're representing Canada at the Lincoln Gretzky, you're younger than everybody. I mean, there was no shrinking violet in either Maddox or Liam, and I think that speaks volumes not only just about their abilities but also about their maturity. So you gotta be careful. I mean, before you ask me, I'll tell you, Liam Pugh reminds me of Steven Stamkos, the way he plays the game. It's as smooth as Steven was at that age. So when you're watching these two terrific young players, to use the word impressive, I don't think it's strong enough. I think it speaks to the quality of talent that Canada continues to produce in hockey. And these two players, in my opinion, are two of the next superstars that are going to be in the NHL.
And you talked about it a lot on the broadcast, right? To people to get out to Regina and watch these guys while you can. But that chemistry, Craig, and you've seen it more than anyone else, but anyone that's been around hockey, you can have two really good hockey players, and they can play with each other a bit, but the chemistry sometimes won't work. Why do you think these guys, why do their games complement each other so well?
Well, number one, their hockey sense and understanding of the game is exceptional. It stands out. And when you get when you get two players that understand the game, that think at a high level, process it at a high rate, and then you put them together, there's every reason to believe that chemistry can ensue, and it does. Now you can look at Maddox and say he's a little bit more of a playmaker, and Liam is a little bit more of a goal scorer. Well, the playmaker needs the goal scorer, the goal scorer needs the playmaker. And so I think that their skill sets also complement one another. Liam's not afraid to shoot the puck. Maddox isn't afraid to shoot the puck, and Liam can make plays. But when you kind of put a little bit of a lean into what each of their games are, the lean for Maddox would be a little bit more playmaker, and the lean for Liam would be a little bit more shooter.
Did you get a chance to talk to them much away from the rink and just get a sense of them? You talked about their maturity, and Maddox has been that way. Mom and dad, great people. I didn't know Liam that much till last year, until I got to interview him. He came in the studio. He's a bit jokester. I like him. He reminds me of a Colby. I told him, you remind me of Colby Armstrong when he was younger. He was an old Saskatoon buddy. Did you get a sense? Did you talk to them much away from the rink?
I saw Maddox at one point. We were Gordon Miller and myself were talking to Ryan Olahan, the coach, and Maddox was there. And, I'd met Maddox previously, and then Maddox introduced himself to Gord. Liam, I didn't get a chance to talk to, and I'm not looking to talk to those guys at that point. I mean, they're dialed in. It's a quick tournament. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, day off into a semifinal, and they need to be with their teammates. They need to be focused in on what they're doing. They don't need to be doing any extracurricular, in my view, with us. I mean, we get an opportunity to watch them. We get an opportunity to talk about their abilities, to glow about them, and then I mean, we're not really, if we turned off the sound and the viewer watched, I mean, you would see how brilliant they are. But at those types of tournaments, I don't think those are, for me, I don't feel comfortable dialing into those players. Let them stay focused on what their task at hand is there. And that's to bring it every day. And you got 5 games in 6 days. You don't get a lot of time for rest.
Craig Button, TSN hockey analyst, is joining us here, fresh off the Hlinka Gretzky Championship for Canada. Why will they, and then again, why won't they get strong consideration to be on the World Junior team?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. If you just go and watch the game, and you didn't know anybody's age, you just said, okay, I'm going to bring in somebody that doesn't know any of these players, doesn't know what their age is, hasn't seen a birth certificate. You just go watch the game. I mean, they're unbelievable. They're not good. They're not. Oh, they were good for 16-year-olds. They're unbelievable. They were 2 of the best players in the entire tournament. You got Landon Dupont, who was excellent. I mean, I thought Brock Cripps was excellent as well. And then, I mean, you look up front, Maddox and Liam. I mean, so I think there's too much focus put in on birth certificates. It's too easy to default to say, well, they're young. I've seen all the players across Canada available to Canada for the World Junior Tournament. If there's 13 better forwards than those guys, I want to see them. That's how good they are. And I'm not basing it on, I know they're only 16. That's how good they are. Now, Liam, I have a little bit more of a push for Liam, because I think that Team Canada has a lot of good elements in their team. Strong up the middle of the ice, good blue line. I think Landon Dupont will be on the team, good goaltending. I don't think they have a lot of offensive pop available to them. And Liam's a natural. Liam is capable, one-shot goal. And I'm not burying skill. I'm not missing on skill. And again, when you're a winger, I mean, you can put him into spots and work with him. Maddox, and Gord kept asking me on the broadcast, and finally at the end I said, listen, Maddox belongs. He's good enough. He's really good. So I told the story about Wayne Gretzky at the 1978 World Junior Tournament. He was ripping up the Ontario Hockey League with the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Muzz McPherson got pushing him. My father was running NHL Central Scouting, so they were giving Ernie McLean guidance on the team and some players and everything. And they kept saying, I mean, Muzz was really pushing for Wayne. Anyway, long story short, Bill Derlago got hurt. Wayne got named to the team. I happened to be a 13-year-old kid, maybe 14, if I add my years up, 14 years old. Christmas Day, 1977, Wayne Gretzky has 3 goals and 2 assists against the former Czechoslovakia. I asked Ernie years later, Punch, I said, when did you realize how good Wayne Gretzky was? He goes, I realized he was my best player sometime during the first period of that first game. Now, 16 years old, I get it. But Maddox Schultz is a prodigy, and I think Liam Pugh is a prodigy. And I think that Hockey Canada better have an open mind to these 2 guys. Now, they got to go and start the year with Regina and start in the Western Hockey League. But I think that if they play to their capabilities, they should be invited to the camp. And I'll say it again, if there's 13 better forwards than those guys available to Team Canada for the World Junior, just tell me where they are.
Let's keep it Sasky here, because I have to ask about these guys. Another former Regina Pat Canadian in Boston Tate, and Caden Schrader up from Saskatoon. What do you like about their games?
Caden Schrader reminds me of Ridley Gregg. He's got an edge to him. He gets under opponent's skin. He's a competitor. He can kill penalties. He can add offense. That line of Ben Vitch, Caden Schrader, and Jakob Wysick was unbelievable. I mean, they did so much damage to opponents in that tournament, not just on the scoreboard, but in the way they played and the way they so competitive. And they each bring different skill sets. And you talk about the 3 of them, the trio playing together. I thought it was something that was really, really special, and something that could they were full on with respect to their impact in the tournament. I mean, Caden's a good player. I saw Caden a couple years ago when he was a call-up to Edmonton when he was still 15, And I saw him in a game against Brandon, and you could see that he had some moxie. Might not have been as big, might not have been as physically mature as he is right now, but he had that moxie then, and he's got loads of it. And you got to love those types of players. When it comes to Boston Tate, I mean, you think of the blue line, and you think about how they set up their blue line. Boston played with Brock Cripps.
Oh,
and
good player.
They were a really good pair. And so you ask me what's chemistry. I call it defense interplay, partner play. Like when you're playing with a good player like Brock Cripps, you got to do a lot of things that are subtle. Get the puck to him. Make sure you read how he's playing, where he's going to read, where you can. I wouldn't even call it cover up. You're just letting him do his thing and making sure that if anything has to be picked up, he can do it. I thought Boston was excellent there. That top four defense for Canada was simply outstanding, and it was. I mean, when you talk about the top three lines, the top four defense, it was exceptionally skilled. And certainly, Boston brings a different skill set than Brock, but a really good player.
A couple more here. This is kind of a two-part because again, Royal Regina, there was talk that the best U.S. players didn't go to this for some reason. So did the U.S. send their best from what you know? And then secondly, how good would the Russians have been? Because I heard the 09 Russians are amazing.
Well, what you've heard about the 09 Russians is exactly true. They're really good. They could have 5 or 6 first-round draft picks this year. I mean, obviously, when you look at the difficulty in scouting them and getting into Russia, I mean, they're not playing outside the country for the most part, unless you count Kazakhstan and Belarus. So you don't get a chance to get in there to watch them. I'm talking about big decision makers, and they don't come out. But there's lots of opportunity with the way the video is now and the setups where you can watch these players and watch them closely. I think Provalov and Skortsev easily could be top 5 picks in this year's NHL draft, and then there's 3 or 4 other ones that are really excellent. USA, because of their national team development program set up, they don't send that team because of a lot of different reasons. Those kids come into Michigan at the end of August with respect to moving into homes, getting ready for school, and to bring them in middle of July is just going to become something that's very difficult for them. So there was some really good players for the USA there. Like Carter Meyer left the national team development program. To me, he's a top prospect. He's going to go play in Quebec in the Quebec Maritimes Junior Hockey League. Like I know the national team development program, and there's some really good players there. Would have they helped this USA team? Yeah, there's no question they would have. But that national team, I think there's at a minimum. I'm not including Maddox and Liam here. I think there's a minimum of 8-9 kids who are on that Hlinka team from Canada that will be first-round draft picks. And I can guarantee you that the National Team Development Program doesn't have 8 or 9 guys. Not even close.
Wow. Okay, last one for you, Craig. I think last time when I had you on a year ago or so, we talked about how this was going to work.
It's been that long. Why don't you have me on more often? Seriously, a year ago.
I didn't want to bring it up because the last time you stood me up, but that's okay. But we talked about
you up. I would never stand anybody up.
We talked about the CHL to NCAA thing, and now it's kind of gone, and we're kind of seeing it. And Landon DuPont, right, at 17, which is just your thoughts on how that's been going. Where do you see it a year from now quickly? What are your thoughts on it?
It's still unfolding. I was talking to a couple of the leaders from the USA Hockey, and they said the ecosystem has changed. I talked to David Carl for a long time at the Summer Showcase in Windsor, the head coach at Denver University. And one of the things that David has talked about is like stay out of youth hockey. And that's where a lot of the colleges used to have to go. They had to go in the living rooms of 14-year-old kids and try to convince them. David says, we don't want to be there. Like, let the kids go to junior, let them turn 17, 18, just like they do in high school in the United States. And then we can start recruiting them. We can start looking at them. We need to stay out of the 15 and 16-year-old group. I think it's like there's still a lot changing, and there's still a lot. There's kids going to the NCAA. In my view, they're not ready to go compete at the NCAA level. But they got to learn that. I mean, there's kids that have come into the CHL a little bit too early. I think we'll find an equilibrium. I like the fact that there's a different path, like a path that didn't exist before. Number one, for young players to go, I can go play in the CHL without having to sacrifice NCAA eligibility. And then there's another path after, when you're playing in the CHL, is it another step before you get to pro hockey? So I think that it can serve a lot of different, it's not for everybody. Porter Martone had dominated for 3 years in the Ontario Hockey League. He wasn't ready for the NHL, went to Michigan State, and now he was ready for the NHL. Landon's been a dominant player in the Western Hockey League for 2 years. I think he's ready to go and challenge himself at Michigan. Gavin McKenna dominated the Western Hockey League. He was ready to go challenge himself. There's some growing pains there, but I think there's going to be still a lot that's going to unfold and some information and some experiences that are going to help instruct future players. But I think all in all, different paths that didn't exist before that are there now for the kids, I think it's positive for the young players.
Well, we're going to have to catch up. If you come into town, let us know, because we'll take you for a Western pizza, maybe to watch Liam and Maddox. But if not, I will be reaching out. We'll have to get you on again. Totally appreciate it, Craig. You're a pro. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There he is, TSN hockey analyst Craig Button. Some good stuff there on the fellas. Liam and Maddox, great tournament, all that. It's the Sports Cage. We'll be right back. Streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
Listen weekdays at noon for Saskatchewan Today on CKRM with your host, Ryan Young. Offering the most extensive agricultural news coverage with precision weather meteorologists. In an industry that moves fast, stay updated with the latest, most reliable information in ag news. Crisis and trends, all in one place. Available anytime at saskagtoday.com. Saskatchewan Today, your trusted source for all things agriculture. Sponsored by Affinity Credit Union on 620 CKRM.
Play of the game? Touchdown! More like the game to play. The new Saskatchewan Roughriders Scratch and Win ticket. It's your chance to win 10 years of Rider season tickets, a premium suite for the home opener and the Labor Day Classic, and tons of Rider swag. Plus, 2 chances to win $75,000. Tickets available at your favorite lottery retailers. Proudly brought to you by Sask Lotteries, supporting sport, culture, and recreation across the province. Please play responsibly.
Is it time to refresh your cottage this summer? It's easy with lakeside deliveries from Freeze Tallman. Whether you're rebuilding the deck, fixing the dock, or taking on a full cabin project, Freeze Tallman delivers the building materials you need right to the lake. With reliable service and delivery you can count on, you'll spend less time running around and more time enjoying the weekend. Start your summer project at freezetallman.com. Freeze Tallman. Locally owned, family grown, rooted in our community for 70 years.
Hello, Clarice.
It's Brittany.
Have the lambs stopped screaming?
Those aren't lambs. That's my garage door. I don't know why it's making that sound.
I hope you called Busy Bee Doors. They can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
I did, and?
Brittany? Paul from Busy Bee. What's with the old guy on the dolly?
Ugh, ignore him.
I do wish we could chat longer, but...
Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
It's time for the Sports Ticker. Brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Rent a water heater and water softener starting at about $1.20 a day and get $400 when you switch to Reliance Heath.
All right, Sports Ticker, Blue Jays, Red Sox. Big one again tonight for the Jays, 5:07 our time. Moose Jaw and Saskatoon. In Saskatoon, the Berries lead the best of 3, 1-0. That's the division final. At the Canadian Junior Golf Championships at the Wascana Golf Course, Matty Schmeese from Swift Current. Swifty. No, is he related to Trevor? I don't know. 72 today. He's tied 37th. Harrison Franklin from Saskatoon, still the top Saskey-born player. Leading is Chase Strang from Airdrie, who went 2 deep today, sits -6. It's for Reliance Heath. Rent a water heater, softener together, $1.20 a day, $400 cash back. Call on Reliance. Hour 2's coming up. We're hoping to be joined by Chris Streveler. It is the Sports Cage. We're back after the news.
We are the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM Regina, a Harvard media station.
News is brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. Call 781-2090.
It's 4 p.m. Good afternoon. Mostly cloudy and 22 degrees in Regina. I'm Will Manzik from the SAS Today newsroom with 620 CKRM News. We're learning even more details about a homicide investigation in Regina's North Central. Police say a second person has now been charged. It all happened yesterday morning when police say they responded to a report of two people who had been shot on the 1100 block of Elphinstone Street. Officers found a 37-year-old man and a 42-year-old woman dead outside a home. Now, 42-year-old Rose Sparvier has been charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. Earlier today, police also charged 19-year-old Patricia Stevenson with 2 counts of second-degree murder and weapons charges. Armour Road in Regina will soon have a new name. The city is changing the street name to Lafayette Road to honor one of Saskatchewan's first black settler families. Carol Lafayette Boyd's grandfather moved to Regina in 1906, and she says it's amazing to see her family be honored like this.
We had a lot of pride from everyone and excitement, so many of them tried to get here to be here for it, for the groundbreaking ceremony.
Armour Road extends into the RM of Sherwood, but that section of the road won't be renamed. An investigation into altered cattle brands in southeast Saskatchewan has led to charges against a man from the RM of Martin. Moosomin RCMP conducted an investigation and say inspectors examined 197 head of cattle after receiving a report on July 6th. Investigators determined 99 cattle had altered brands, while another 98 were fraudulently branded. Police have charged 52-year-old Kelly Stephen with altering a brand on cattle and fraud over $5,000. Stephen is scheduled to appear in court September 15th. And the Salvation Army Regina Community Church says donations for its school backpack program have reached 55%, despite more than 1,300 students applying. The program has provided school supplies to children for 15 years, with backpacks being built using supply lists from each student's schools. Cost for one backpack have risen 15 to 20% over the last 2 years. Tim Frazier, Corps Officer with the Salvation Army's Regina Community Church, explains.
It's more so just the cost and I think the demand of, how much supplies, a child needs to bring to school. Has really impacted families, and we hear of families who are choosing between food for their kids and supplies, right? And they can't afford both.
The church says children will receive supplies, but other programs could face cuts if funding falls short. That's 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sastoday.ca and 620ckrm.com.
Looking for a new career with a growing local company? Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling in Emerald Park are now hiring. They're currently in need of plumbers and sheet metal workers, from apprentices to journeymen. Competitive wages, plenty of work, family-style work environment. If you're ready for a new challenge, bring your resume to 2 Percival Drive in Emerald Park or call 781-2090. That's 781-2090.
Weather for next-gen coatings, spray coatings for truck bed liners, rocker panels, and more. Same company, new name. 1865 McCarra Street, Regina.
Weather tonight looking partly cloudy, low down to 10 degrees. Tomorrow, cloudy. We do have a chance of shower, about a 40% chance in the area, and a high of 20 tomorrow. Tomorrow night, spotty showers. Some steady rain after midnight in the area as well, 80% chance, down to 13. Friday, rain tapers into showers and a high of 17. Saturday, we're partly sunny and a high of 21. And Sunday, sun mixing with some afternoon cloud and a high of 23. Right now, in downtown Regina, corner of 12th and Rose, partly cloudy sky. It is 23 degrees.
For over 40 years, you've known them as Regina's trusted vehicle protection specialists. Now they're introducing the next gen of coatings. New name, new level of protection. They're now Next Gen Coatings. 3 generations of their family have served your family, and that hasn't changed. Same owners, same commitment, ready for the next gen of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards. The company hasn't changed, just the name. Next Gen Coatings. 1865 McCarra Street. The next gen starts now.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Regina Motor Products. RMP summer offer on now until August 31st. Receive a $25 SO gift card with purchase of a vehicle health check and oil change package. Visit RMP today. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back, Hour 2 here on this Wednesday for our friends at Regina Motor Products. The Prairie Land Rentals text line is a buzzsaw right now. People getting in on where do you land Wednesday. Who would you stand in line for hours to meet? Or have you stood in line for hours to meet someone? If you saw that Brock Lesnar thing out at the hardware store in Emerald Park a couple months ago, people are standing in line for like 5 hours to meet him. Would you do that? I don't know. We got some good responses to get to in a bit. 936-6262. We're still going to talk Roofball in this hour. If you have no idea what Roofball is, wait till we talk to Adam Wills from Roofball of America. CFL talk, more from Riders coming up. We're going to play Pick the Score. But right now, let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline, the Regina Pizza. You just can't get anywhere else. All the Greek favorites you love. Western Pizza tonight. Former Winnipeg Blue Bomber quarterback, NFL quarterback, and now he's kind of a broadcast guy. Chris Streveler is joining us. Chris, thanks so much for doing this. The YouTube, it's kind of taken off here. See it like Strev, Trevor Harris, Tommy Stevens. Now I heard you got another rider coming on.
Got another rider coming on. I did my interview with Keyshawn Johnson yesterday, former teammate of mine. We played together in Arizona, so excited to be dropping that one. And I'll tell you what, man, shout out to the Rider fans. These guys have been showing me a lot of love on social media, and, man, I really just appreciate them, so thank you.
We appreciate you coming on here and talking some ball and all that. First, as a guy that's did the gig, right, Tommy Stevens, you know, we're starting to talk record. Starting to talk record time. I call him the unit. But what he's doing there as a guy that's done it, and you watch these games, what are you seeing that makes him so good at that short yardage QB position, Chris?
Well, it's a couple things. I mean, number one is a willingness to do that, right? It is a bit of a gritty position. You got to be willing to put your body out there, and he loves it. Yeah, when I was interviewing him, I literally felt like I was just talking in a mirror because everything that he was saying back to me, I'm just like, yeah, I agree. I told him at the end, I'm like, dude, people are going to watch this and just see me smiling the entire time because I love what you're saying. So number one is a willingness. Number two is the offensive line. I mean, you look at these clips right here. Look at that dent. Look at that dent on the right side of the offensive line. I mean, as a wedge quarterback, you ain't going anywhere if they ain't getting a dent for you like that. So it's been awesome to just see that evolution of that package. And then I told them too, man, like a lot of what you're doing right now is kind of what I was doing in Winnipeg, where not only are they using you in short yardage, but at the end of game, hey, everyone in the stadium knows we're running the ball. Why not just put him in there? Let's get the running back up in the whole lead block, and he's been able to generate some explosives off of that as well. So I just told him, I said, hey, man, when's the pass coming? Because I know that there's going to be a pass coming soon, and it is going to be a massive explosive play. it's going to be a big moment in the season, but they're going to break it out. And it's going to hit.
We have a book here on predictions. Colson, write it down. Let's hear from you. How is it going to happen? If you think, how's this pass going to happen? What kind of formation are they going to be in? What's Tommy going to do where he actually throws it? What are you going to be watching?
It's probably going to be exactly what I was doing in 2018 and 19, where you go under center on a 2nd and 1. You act like you're going to run the outside wedge, drop back, and they have no safety in the middle of the field. So there you go. There goes Keyshawn Johnson streaking across the field, just literally a win route. Put it out there to him, or you you release your two guys on the end. They're always doing that motion with the lead blocker, right? So instead of him blocking, now you just leak him out into the flat, and there's probably going to be nobody on him. Like, there's so many ways you could get creative with that, and I'm excited to see how that continues to evolve for them. There's still some more yards to be had.
Do you think the position that Tommy's playing, are we getting more respect for that now? Because it's kind of been criticized a little bit out there. Are we starting to see more people kind of jump onto it, and maybe we're going to see teams looking for guys like you or like Tommy?
You know, it's such an important play. I mean, I said it in my recap last week on YouTube. I'm like, teams are losing and winning games on 3rd and 1s. You see it every single week. Look at Calgary last week. 3rd and 1, they go in the shotgun, they hand the ball off because they don't feel like they can go get a wedge. You know, it happened earlier in the year with Ottawa. There's been so many teams that have lost games on 3rd and 1, and then you look over at Sask, and they've turned 3rd and 1 in the wedge into a weapon, and they're scoring points off of it. So, you know, to me, I don't think that anyone needs to be standing on the table. You just got to watch what's happening around the league. A 3rd and 1 late in the game, you see Tommy Stevens run out there. You feel pretty damn good about him converting that first down. Other teams are going in shotgun. Right. Yeah. And that's Calgary, who has Quincy Vaughn, who's also one of the better guys doing it. So, you know, I get the argument on the other side because there is a need for quarterback development in the league. Right. And I think that the league is going to have to get creative in terms of how to get more young talent up here. But that's not to say that Tommy Stevens couldn't be a quarterback in this league. Like, he's never even really been given the opportunity. So, you know, I think that you can embrace that role and still develop into a franchise quarterback, but I do think that teams need to just continue to invest in those wedge situations because they are game-changing plays.
What are you seeing from your eyeballs as you dissect the game, and you're doing a great job, from Trevor Harris that we're not talking about? Obviously, he's getting time. He gets rid of the ball quick. What are you seeing that maybe we aren't, that we're not talking about?
Well, I think one of the things you saw last week is, you know, they got Schaefer Baker and they got Analyst out. And you're thinking, oh, man, you know, this offense might take a hit. Did not take a hit. And now, no, I get who they're playing and all this and that. But at the end of the day, it's still professional football. You still got to complete the ball. And I think two of the things that he does really well are he's so decisive and he gets through his reads so fast. Like, I said it in my interview with him. I'm like, dude, I feel like you're on your second hitch and you're already on the backside dig. Right. And then his accuracy is great. And that's what you have to do when you are Trevor Harris, and now you know you don't have the same arm strength you once had. You're not the most mobile guy in the world. You got to be decisive. You got to make great decisions, and you got to be accurate with the ball. And he does that better than anybody. So it's just really, really fun to watch him do that. And then again, the way that they distribute the ball and spread the ball around on offense, everyone's going to get their touches. And I think that's why you're able to see, even with some of their top guys out, they're still spreading the ball around and putting up big numbers on offense.
League-wide, when you're watching the games, obviously we got Montreal, we got Saski, Edmonton's right there. What team aren't we talking about from your lens?
You know, I think those are the three right now. You know, actually going into last week, I was kind of standing on the table for Calgary. Like, that D-line is nasty. The defense is taking the ball away. But just to drop that game against Toronto when you take the ball away 4 times and get 4 interceptions, I'm just like, man, like, you just got to put it together. And you know, when Vernon Adams is playing clean football, that's a very, very good football team. So, you know, I still think Calgary has a chance to be a good team. They just got to be consistent with it. It's crazy, but I just feel like BC, every year they do this thing where they just sputter out the gate, and then down the stretch, here they come. You know, they're going to win 3rd in the West and find themselves in the playoffs. And, you know, it's going to be very interesting to see how the West plays out, because all 5 of those teams are very capable of making the playoffs, and they're all kind of dealing with their own situations right now. So, you know, it's going to be a lot of back and forth to go down this last half of the season. I'm very excited to see how it plays out.
You've probably been asked this question a lot, but I want to hear it from you. All the rule changes that are coming, that have come, is there one that you would turf?
You know, I get it all the time, man. I just did a hit with Ottawa radio before this, and you know, look. I'll just tell you where I stand on it. Okay, all the rule changes that we've seen this year have been fantastic. Right? Like, I don't think maybe there's a couple people out there saying we should be winning games on missed field goals. No, like that's crazy, man. We're not winning games on missed field goals. We shouldn't have football games ending in ties. right? Play the game out. You travel all the way out to Ottawa. Let's see who wins the game. No one wants that. Teams should not be on the same sideline. That's ridiculous. Okay. So those are 3 changes this year that have been great. Okay. Next year, it's going to be interesting to see how it affects gameplay. Now, the people that are saying that they are Americanizing the game, I don't see that at all. I live in America. I watch the games with people. And just because the field is going to be a little bit shorter and the goalposts will be moved back, if I turn on the game with my buddy who's never seen a CFL game, he's not going to watch that game and say, this looks like the NFL. He's going to say, what is going on? Explain the rules to me. Because there's going to be people waggling towards the line. There's going to be 12 guys on the field. There's going to be 3 downs. It's still going to be a completely different game. So let's just see how it affects gameplay. You're going to have interesting scenarios when teams are on like the 40 to the 30-yard line going in now, because our team's going to have to punt. The idea is get them to go for it a little bit more, open up the end zone with moving the goalpost back. All that stuff I understand. Let's just see how it plays out. I just, it does bother me a little bit when I hear people already writing them off when the rule changes we've seen this year have been great. Let's give the rest of them a chance and see how it affects the gameplay.
Your buddies in the States, if they're gambling and then they see a rouge come, they're like, how did I just loot? What just happened here? Seriously, trust me, my American friends are always like, do you still have that single point up there? But what do you remember watching your first CFL game ever, whenever that was?
I think my first introduction to the CFL was Chris Berman doing his fastest 3 minutes. He'd always talk about the Grey Cup. And I remember watching it and being like, what is the Red Blacks? Like, I've never heard of this. This looks crazy. And man, I really didn't keep up with it until I went up to Winnipeg. And I tell the story all the time about when Lapo called me. It was my senior year at South Dakota. He's like, I'm Coach LaPolice. I'm here with Winnipeg. I didn't even know where Winnipeg was. And it was literally just straight 8 hours north on Highway 29 from University of South Dakota. So, it's for me, it's just been amazing how much how fond I am of the CFL and how much the country as a whole has embraced me and supported me. And, I want to show that love back by using my platform to promote the game, because I think it is an awesome product. I think there's a lot of outstanding players in that league. And I said it earlier too, just, I think that a lot of those guys could be NFL players. It's just about being at the right place at the right time. And for whatever reason, for a lot of guys, that just hasn't happened.
We're getting some text messages in, guys, people that love your show and they're watching you and all that. So like you said, Rider Nation and Sasky people. Okay, here's one. Broadcast company comes to you and says, Chris, what do you want to do? What's your dream job? What are you telling them? What would you like to do in the broadcasting world?
Man, I love calling games, so I'd love to be a color guy. I'd love to be an analyst. Would love to be on a panel of any sorts, doing pre- and post-game stuff. I've had the opportunity to call a couple college games. We had the opportunity to go do some stuff with CJOB for the Bombers game against Calgary. Was on pre- and post-game with that. I just want to share my passion, my energy, and my knowledge for the game in whatever way possible. I also coach quarterbacks out here in Arizona, so that kind of scratches the itch of, the X's and O's and really diving in deep and helping players develop and get to where I got to. My goal for those players that I coach is just, man, how can I make you better than me? And how can I help you accomplish your goals? So in terms of broadcasting, would love to stay around the league and be engaged in that moving forward. And I think there's going to be opportunities for me to do that. And then, as it pertains down here, would love to be involved with the NFL, college football as much as I can as well, and just stay around the game to continue to scratch that itch, because, hanging it up at 31, there might have been still some more gas in the tank had I had a fully intact knee.
Where do you lay your head? What part of Arizona?
I'm out in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Oh, right on. Do you swing the clubs? Are you a golfer?
I'm out there for the vibes. You know what I mean? I'll go golf a smooth 94 and just have a really good time.
What's your favorite track?
Man, I really like the Phoenician. If I'm really going to ball out, go up on the side of the mountain, that's a nice one. Have you been out here very much and played some golf?
Oh, yeah. Lots. Phoenicians, I spray it, and Phoenician scares me, right?
Yeah,
the ball,
it's tight. It's tight.
Yeah. I'm a weak
Well, next time you're out, man, let's get out.
Jake Mayer, he swings a lot of clubs down there as well in Arizona. You probably know that. Just a couple more here, Strev, for you if we can. We have one text message I want to get to is, what was your welcome to the NFL moment? Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so my welcome to the NFL moment is a pretty literal moment. And, I'll plug my social media really quick. I've been sharing a ton of these stories on Instagram, just kind of going through my journey. And I shared this one, but I'll say it again. So it was 2020 when I signed with the Cardinals, and, there's no preseason. We didn't even have OTAs. So, we kind of just going off of practice. And I remember I sat down with Cliff like a couple days before camp ends, and he ended up telling me that, hey, you're gonna make the team. Not only are you gonna make the team, but you're gonna be our number 2 this year. Just a life-changing moment for me and extremely exciting. But he's like, hey, like just kind of keep this here. We want everyone to get through final cuts, and we don't want to get out in the media, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. So I didn't really tell anyone. So we're kind of going through final cuts, and that whole thing's going on. Obviously, I know I'm gonna make the team, so I go in to the facility one morning, and there's no one really in there, because they kind of tell guys, like, just stay at home so we can get in touch with you. We don't want you coming in and find out you get cut in a weird way. So I go in, I'm having breakfast, and there's one other guy eating breakfast as well on the other side of the cafeteria, and it's Larry Fitzgerald. And so I'm just kind of sitting there minding my own business, eating breakfast, and I see Larry coming over and walking towards me, and he just comes up to me and he goes, hey, man, I just want to be the first guy to congratulate you on making this football team. And, I don't even know if he remembers that story. I still run into Larry from time to time out here in Arizona. But for me, as a guy coming from the CFL, a guy that you watched growing up, one of the GOATs, Hall of Famer, for him to just say, hey, man, congratulations, you worked hard, you deserve it. I can't even really tell you how much that meant to me. And that's one of those guys that's just fully as advertised.
Wow. And then Tegan, who hosts our pregame shows here on the Rider Radio Network, she wants to know 2019, the fur coat, cowboy hat combo. Where did that come from? Because it's pretty iconic. Was it just a last minute thing?
It was kind of just, it was something I had like thrown out as an idea. Like, we were kind of struggling in the back half of the season, and I was like, dude, man, if we win this Grey Cup, like, wouldn't it be great if I just wore a fur coat? Like, that'd be sick. And so we win it. And there it is right there. And so my girlfriend at the time, I told her mom, she's like, oh, actually, I have a fur coat. It's a family heirloom. Oh, yeah, you can wear it. I'm like, all right, sweet. So, we win the Grey Cup, and she's like, oh, here you go, have fun. And so, I put the coat on, and it got the hat in Calgary, because, they gave everyone the Stampede hats. And then somebody threw me a gold chain during the parade, so I just threw that. It all just kind of came together last minute. The morning of the parade, I go in, and Osha's like, you're probably going to need this. Just hands me like a fat cigar. I'm like, sweet. So it kind of just came together organically, and I did not think it was going to take on the life that it's taken on. I mean, people still dress up like me for games and Halloween, and it's just like, it's the most surreal thing. But I appreciate the support.
We've got to do this again. Hopefully you can make some time for us. Really appreciate you. We love what you're doing, man. Keep doing it.
Thank you, man.
And I'm sure your life's going to get really busy, because you are going to get one of those gigs. And now I'm either craving a Waffle House or an In-N-Out burger after all that Arizona.
Hey.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Shoot me a message if you're out here, man. We'll get out and play some golf, and we can talk some CFL ball.
I lived 2 years up in Flagstaff, so I love the area, man. Thanks.
It's awesome up there, man.
Yeah, thanks for doing this. Let's do it again.
Yeah, you bet.
There he is. You can find him at Chris Streveler. Great follow on the socials. Like he says, he's sharing things on his Insta. On YouTube, it's See It Like Strev. He's had Tommy Stevens, Trevor Harris, and then Keyshawn Johnson is coming, which I totally forgot they were teammates in Arizona. So, that's great, and he's doing wonderful things for the CFL. There's no doubt about that. And yeah, I'm sure he'll be calling games or on a panel or on something quick. It is a Sports Cage. We are on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM. We're also streaming. If you want to watch along through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
The Roughriders season is here, and the biggest 50-50 in Saskatchewan is back. Last year's 50-50 raised over $3.3 million for amateur football in Saskatchewan, and we couldn't do it without you. Thank you, Rider Nation. This year, we have bigger loyalty and early bird prizes than ever before, not to mention those life-changing 50-50 jackpots. See all of the prizes and buy your tickets today at riders5050.ca, and never miss a chance to win when you sign up for the 50-50 Club.
Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
Lottery license LR260010.
Great coaches make great calls. And at home, you're in control of the game. Add SaskTel TV to your lineup and enjoy popular channels, including sports in stunning 4K for as low as $40 a month. So, what do you say, Coach? Ready to add in the difference maker? Visit sastel.com/make-the-call to learn more. Conditions apply.
The Sportscage Clutch Performer for Keln Solar. Thinking about saving money by using solar power? Keln Solar is a local family company that can put solar panels on your home, business, or farm. KelnSolar.com.
Okay, Colson, I got to collect mine, so you go first, my man.
I have to go find where mine is. Oh, here we go. So it's well known at this point, the new Pope is a Chicago White Sox fan, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So the White Sox did a Pope night. I think it was the first 10,000 people in got Pope hats. And if you're watching on the stream, you can see it here.
Yeah.
They
sure did.
Black Pope hats with a white sock on it. They painted a mural of the Pope that people were getting their pictures taken with, which is coming up right here. Yep. Just on one of the pillars in the stadium. And then to finish it all off with, the team decided, hey, you know what our home run hat for the night's going to be? Yeah, you guessed it, a Pope hat. So
yeah. Oh, that's
some great promo right there.
I'm going Matty Schmeese, kid from Swift Current at the Canadian Junior Golf Championships at the Wascana. He shot an even 72 today. He's sitting T37th at the Nationals after a 73 in round one. So he's right in the mixer, sitting at +1. And then some of these kids, just ridiculous. This Thomas Hung Zhao from Vancouver again is leading with Chase Strang. They're -7. Just a 67-68 today. Clutch Performer is for Keln Solar. Lumsden, Saskatchewan. Thinking solar, they can help you out. If you got a livestock operation and you're not talking to the folks at Keln Solar, then you're doing it wrong. Look them up online. Local company, family run. Last week, it was interesting. Kind of a last minute for the Riders where Eric Anderson had to go into the game. He got the start in Ottawa. Little last minute. Coach Mace on Anderson playing at a high level.
Yeah, it's one of those things. You get your number called, and you got to go out there, and if you haven't had much experience, you pray to God that you're mentally prepared and physically you can handle what their defense is throwing at us. And he did a really good job, man. Certainly somebody that we thought could be thrusted into a role like that. He's been progressively getting better every day since training camp. So I was really happy for him to go out there, get that experience, and he played really well.
Let's keep the chat going on the Eric Anderson front. Dave Thomas with the guy who was thrust into action.
Eric, you're getting tastes of game action. Tell me what it's like.
It's a lot of fun. It was a really good game. A lot of fun. It was just good to get out there. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Was it like any other game or no? Or did you try to make it that way?
Yeah, try to make it that way. I didn't. The week of didn't know that I was going to start the whole time, but I think the day of the game, when you find out it's just like another game. We just had fun with it. I got Peyton and Logan on either side of me, which makes it a lot easier. So yeah, just try to have fun and keep getting better.
Does it seem like forever ago since you were drafted, had your name called, and stepped into training camp in Saskatoon?
Yeah, it was a while ago. I had a whole college season in between and then come back. It's been a long time, but it's good to finally get out there. A lot of fun.
Is it better or worse that you didn't have much notice that you were going to be starting?
I think either way. I think every day we're just trying to prepare ourselves regardless. And then if your name's called, you're ready to go. So just try to do those things every day, and whenever you're called, you're ready. So,
how do you feel you did?
There's always a lot to work on. I had fun out there. It was good to hit people again, but there's a lot to work on. So just keep getting better every day.
Game speed, is that something you have to get acclimatized to?
I think that happens pretty fast. You go out there and hit somebody on the first play, and then you're in it. So we practice pretty hard here. So I think prepare yourself well through practice.
I know London's a fair distance from Hamilton. What would it mean, though, getting back closer to home to play a game?
Yeah, it'd be cool. I'm sure a lot of family would come down. It's only like an hour and a half. So, yeah, I'm sure they'd like to come out and see a game. So, yeah, we'll see.
Great stuff there from Dave Thomas as we get set for the Riders in Hamilton. I'm intrigued about tomorrow night. BC and Calgary. Speaking of Calgary, still in hour 3, we're going to talk to Jock Wilson from QR77. We'll talk a little Stamps, little Lions, but Calgary, some good news for Flames fans in Calgary today. Jock Wilson from QR77, and it has to do with that radio station. That's coming up in hour number 3. And Joe starting tomorrow night, first start. So see how that goes. Back to the text, it's Where Do You Land Wednesday, and I know a bunch of people kind of mentioned people. It started. Do you wait in line to meet people? Have you waited in line to meet a celebrity or an idol or a hero? I guess. Do they still do those like at card shows? I think card show guy would know. He waits in line because you get people like Pete Rose used to sign stuff at car shows all the time, or O.J. Simpson used to plop. And I've been in Vegas a few times, and it'll be like, Evander Holyfield signing, all that. Not that I would, but yeah, I think some people do that. Some people are trying to profit on it as well. It's kind of like the autograph seeker. Sorry if I'm going to offend anyone, but if you're under the age of like 16, take a seat. You shouldn't get an autograph. The kids should get it. It's like when a baseball is thrown and some big slug grabs it and some kids sitting there, or golf. We see it at golf all the time. Player will throw a golf ball in for the kids, not for you. So have you stood in line? Did you think about this anymore? Colson, have you stood in line or... There's gotta be who's your favorite basketball player of all time?
Probably Steph, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, if I was going to go meet Steph, I'd probably stand in line for, we'll say, an hour, approximately. Yeah. Like, if it's somebody like that, I think I could do it, but I don't know. There's not a whole lot of people that I would stand in line to meet. I'm just thinking about it.
Okay, I'll throw out the Steph Curry story right now, and then we're going to talk Roofball. Adam's trying to connect here. It's going to be great. So the Steph Curry story goes like this. Fortunate enough years ago to be in the Bay Area, went and played Pebble Beach golf course. Wife came with, she was going to the spa at Pebble Beach for the day. We're making like a romantic thing of, yada, yada. So we drive down, we get stuck in traffic coming from San Jose down the Monterey in the Pebble. And it's my second time playing it, and the first 4 holes are actually really easy, but you're so puckered up, right? Because it's like, it's Pebble Beach, I'm scared. So I'm like, I've got to go to the range this time. I had a bit of a shoulder tear that year, and I'm like, I'm going to warm up, and I want to play better this year. Well, we get out of the vehicle. I almost took my ear off the vehicle that we rented, I remember, because it was low. All of a sudden, this guy's like, "Are you Mr. Chinkaruk?" Yeah. He's like, "We need you to go to the tee right now. So sorry. The party behind you or playing behind you is stuck in traffic." And I'm like, I was just stuck in that traffic. I thought I could rip a few eggs quick and then go. He's like, "No, we need you to go right now." Okay, go. Tee off, shank. It's just brutal. Second hole is a par 5, and if you spray it way left, what you do, you kind of end up by the first green because you got to walk back. Hit it way left, and I'm like, oh boy, it's embarrassing. I go up, I just smashed the second shot. I'm starting to not care. Playing Pebble, and I was like, also my wife they take my wife on a cart to the spa. She texts me. She's like, hey, do you know who's playing behind you? And I'm like, no. She's like, some Steph Curry guy and his dad. And I'm like, what? And I look back. Well, sure enough. And they were putting on the green when I went with my head down to hit that second shot, embarrassed. And I'm like, oh boy, wow, that is him. So all round, he was smashing it right up on me. Great guy. So then got a lot of pictures of him, side by side with his dad and all that. So after the round, I was like, hey, I was the one you were hitting into all day, kind of joking, all that. He's like, I said, can I get a quick picture? And he's like, yeah, no problem. I said, I just got to run into the pro shop quick, and then I'll be back out. He's like, not a problem. So he goes into the pro shop, and he's probably in there for like 8-10 minutes. I could see him talking to some guys and all that. So finally, I'm so mad because I didn't play well again. And I said to my wife, I'm like, screw it, let's just go. And we just left. I wouldn't even wait another who knows, 3-4 minutes to get the picture with Steph and probably his dad as well. So there's I'm not patient, waiting a chance to maybe get a picture with Steph Curry. Seemed like a nice guy, and he's a lot taller than you think. Because as a basketball player, he's short, but he's 6'1", I think.
6'1" or 6'3".
Yeah, and he was... I'm 5'10". Luke thinks I'm 5'6".
Yeah, which is short compared to everyone else on the basketball court.
So there's the Steph Curry. Okay, Steph's story. We'll go to break. We come back. Have you ever heard of Roofball? You're going to learn a lot about Roofball. It's quite fascinating. Coming up, it's a Sports Cage. We'll be back after this.
Winter in Saskatchewan tests everything, our patience, vehicles, and sometimes our bumpers. From icy parking lot dings to serious highway mishaps, choosing local matters. At Regina Motor Products Collision Center, we're Saskatchewan owned, run, and we drive these roads too. An SGI accredited full-service collision center working on all makes and models. Submit your SGI claim and book your appraisal. It's easy. When you need repairs you can trust, it's neighbors helping neighbors. Regina Motor Products Collision Center, south at Highways 1 and 6 Albert Street, rmpchevrolet.com.
Erectile dysfunction affects many men, and effective treatment options are available. Revive is helping lead a new approach to men's health, offering confidential, physician-directed assessments and evidence-based treatment options for men experiencing erectile dysfunction. Treatments may include low-intensity shockwave therapy and other regenerative approaches. The goal is to identify possible underlying factors and determine whether non-surgical therapies may help improve sexual health and function. Book your private consultation today. Visit revivemd.com.
What's going on in the markets? When is the right time to invest? What should you do with your money today? When Linda had questions, she talked to Brian Golly.
He's always well prepared and has answers for us. We take it as gospel, and he's led us down the right path so far.
You don't have to plan your financial future alone. Call Brian Golly of Smart Investing Solutions. 306-546-2533.
We would recommend Brian anytime, and we would recommend him to anybody.
This is Sports Cage. Watch our live stream at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Where do you land Wednesday? Colson and I, Willie back on the text line says, back in 91, I met and worked at the home of baseball legend Willie Mays and his wife May. I visited several times for the next few years after, because May would send us Christmas cards every year. What are you doing working at Willie Mays' house? What were you doing there? Let us know, Chili, on that. If you want to text in, have you met anyone? Would you stand in line for an hour, 2 hour, 3 hour to meet someone? 936-6262, Prairie Land Rentals text line. Okay, Colson and I, when I first started this circus 2 years ago, I was like, Roofball? I was watching ESPN one night, or one of the ESPNs, and I'm like, right away text Harry, and I'm like, are you watching it? Have you seen this? He's like, oh, yeah. And then we start going, and I'm like, this is fascinating. It is taken off. They just had the U.S. Open. So last week, I'm like, let's reach out, Colson, and let's finally talk to someone from Roofball of America. So we're lucky enough to be joined by Adam Willis, who's with Roofball Federation of America here on the Sports Cage in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. Adam, thanks for coming on and chatting a little Roofball with us. That's the first time I've ever said that in my life.
Well, hi, Barney, and hello, Canada.
What give people, and I'm sure a lot of people are right now looking it up. They're like, what is Roofball? I know where it started, but take us back to the origins of this thing.
Oh, the origin story. I don't know if you can see behind me, but there's a rugby ball back here. I was on a family trip. We were in London in 1989, 88, I forget. And it was the whole thing of like, we were at the department store and the parents said you can get one thing. For some reason, I decided to get a rugby ball. I mean, rugby, not a big deal in the U.S. then, bigger deal now, still not a huge deal. So I don't know what I was doing with the rugby ball. Brought it home, had nothing to do with it. Well, up on my parents' roof was a natural gas vent. And so I figured, okay, what I'm going to try to do, I don't want to hit the vent, might get in trouble, but I'm going to try to roll it up there and get it to go up and around the pole. So I did that. I don't even know how many times. Then that got boring and I put the ball away. So about 10 years later, some of my sister's guy friends were over. They found the ball. They said, what is this? I told them that story. And then guys being guys, right? Within about 10 minutes, the rugby ball's not enough. There's only one of those. So they're grabbing footballs out of the garage and everyone's hucking up at the pole. And then, okay, well, hitting it should be worth something. Well, what about going around it? That should be worth more. Hey, you threw it over the roof. That's got to be a negative. Well, the catch has got to be worth something. And so, 10, 15 minutes into the life of this thing, it's like the Big Bang, right? Like all the physics were decided in a fraction of a second. It's like 15 minutes in, we had all the rules ready to go. And then the following year, January 2nd, 1999, we played the first Roofball World Championships, which was 7 guys who were supposed to be there and 2 that just happened to be there. We said, you're playing. And ever since then, it's been growing incrementally. We had a big boost in 2023. We had a Reddit post go kind of viral, and that got Barstool's attention, eventually ESPN's attention, and we've been on the Ocho now each of the last 3 years.
There has to be a moment, and I don't know if alcohol is maybe involved in this, where you go, okay, we're gonna do a world championships. Like we're gonna do this. Was there a time where you guys sat down and said, all right, let's do this?
I remember kind of being bullied into it by my sister's friends, like, dude, we got to have a tournament. And, the funniest thing is the way we play is there are games of 3 players each. And honestly, that was originally because I didn't want to get eliminated right away in my first ever tournament of a game that I invented. And so we take like the groups of 3 and then roughly half advance. And it's all because the way Roofball stands right now, you don't have to necessarily win a single game to be champion until the championship game. You can just keep wildcarding all the way. And that was my insecurity going, I'm not getting knocked out in game 1. But no, I don't remember a single moment. I just remember those guys being like, dude, we got to play a tournament.
Take people, okay, so you kind of mentioned you go around and take people through the rules, how the points work, the ping, the around, the catch, how that all works.
I always say the ping is the thing. What you're really trying to do is throw the ball and hit the pole. So you get 5 points for hitting it. If you get it to go up and around, which is very rarely something you can make happen, it's an oblong ball on a shingled roof, as I always like to say. But if you get that done, you get 10 points for that. It's not both. It's either or. So if you get the around, you get 10. The hit doesn't count then. Ping's worth 5. A catch is always worth 1, even if you don't get a ping or an around. And then if you throw it over, in most places, it's -5. We've found some places that the -5 makes it like it disincentivizes even trying to do anything more than a catch. So we've reduced it a little bit. There are house rules everywhere. But basically, yeah, it's throw the ball, hit the pole, you get 5 points. Everything else from there is different house to house.
So when you guys have the World Championships, the U.S. Open and all that, is there a camera? Because I'm sure it probably gets... It nicked. Did you hear it? Like, how does that work?
We have absolutely no good way to do that in real time. It's just, you got to just kind of trust the process. We do at the bigger tournaments, we do have a ref. And what I always say is, if that ball hits halfway up the pole and everyone in the neighborhood heard it and saw it, but the ref says no ping, right? You got to go somewhere with it. But yeah, in the regional tournaments, it's usually like you'll hear like some people on the right like, it definitely hit, dude. We're like, okay, it must have hit then. But I'll tell you, even in super slow-mo, even like when I do frame-by-frames editing, sometimes it's impossible to tell that difference with a zoomed-in camera. So right now, it's all about the honor system. There's always talk about, let's get some type of pressure sensor, or let's have like some type, we're not there yet. Maybe one day, but right now it's just like, pretty sure that hit.
Adam Mills joining us here. We're talking Roofball. Coulson and I just love it. So is it you get 10 throws? Everyone gets 10 throws? Is that what it is? And then how many points?
So if anyone just watched the U.S. Open, in order to get enough games in the 1 hour we had, we reduced it to 7. But throughout Roofball history, it's 10 throws per person, 3 players in a game, and you alternate. So player 1, player 2, player 3.
How do you get this on ESPN? How does that conversation happen and start?
So it's interesting because I worked at ESPN for 7 years in the early 2000s, but despite those connections, it was on Barstool first. We were on their main YouTube channel for a live tournament back in 2023. But then a buddy of mine who I worked with at ESPN, who now lives in Oregon, was talking to me one day about sponsorships and other things. And he said, why aren't you on the Ocho? And I was like, well, Mark, because I don't know how to just call the Ocho. I don't know how to do that. And he goes, well, I do. And he called them up and said, hey, I got this game. You might be interested. They called me a couple weeks later, and this is late 2023. And they said, what do you think about next year? And I said, I think that would probably be a good thing for us to do. Yes, let's make that happen.
Is this your full-time job now?
Oh, that's That's the dream, my friend. No, I got a day job. This is my and not even a side hustle. This is my passion project.
Injuries. What's the worst injury we've seen in Roofball or you've seen?
Oh, without a doubt, 2025 U.S. Open a year ago. The great Doug Webb, who brought us to the state of Washington, he's our Washington organizer. At the U.S. Open in Ohio, he went running for a ball down a slight hill, and he caught the ball. We ruled it no catch, very sadly. He caught it, and then did a full-on roll, and in the process, dislocated or separated his shoulder. Oh. And it was like he somehow played he threw 3 more times, got 2 pings in his last 3. He tells me that every time we talk about this. 2 pings in 3 with a separated shoulder. But then he went straight from the field to the ER there in Lancaster, Ohio, and was on painkillers the next day. And a quick story, because I love it so much. So the next day, Doug's walking through the Columbus airport, getting ready to go home. And our great champion, Derek Weber, sees him. Now, they're not together. So for anybody that's just there in the airport, they see these 2 people slowly come together, right? Who might as well be strangers. And a drugged up Doug says to Derek, "Hey, man, will you tie my shoe?" And Derek's like, "Sure," gets down on a knee, ties Doug's shoe, and then they just keep going. So anyone who doesn't know what's going on just saw a stranger bend over, tie another man's shoe, and keep on going. And Doug's wife loved it because he had to kind of beg to get to go to this thing, and they have a couple of young kids. And so Doug comes back from this solo trip to Ohio, injured and unable to help with the kids. So in so many ways, that's by far our worst injury. Get well soon, Doug.
There's something else for the Ocho, random people. See if you can walk through an airport and see a random person will tie your shoe.
That'd be great.
What is there a guy? Is there a GOAT? If there's a Hall of Fame, who's the first guy going in?
It's Derek Weber. He's won 14 major titles. He's run 2 regional titles. He's our defending world champion. He hasn't had any wins this year, and so I'm going to really be looking out for him in a couple weeks of Worlds because he's going to be wanting to just rip everyone's soul out of that one. Where is Worlds? How do you qualify? How does a guy get into this? So right now you can qualify by being Canadian. Bruce Balfour is our Canadian representative. He's from Surrey up in BC. He's coming down for it. It'll be his 3rd Worlds. But generally speaking, so we have regionals all over the U.S., and that qualifies you for the U.S. Open. And then if you do well in the U.S. Open, you get a nod to come to the Worlds. In fact, our U.S. Open champion was not previously qualified for Worlds, and he'll be there. So there's a ladder system, but if you're from a country that isn't the U.S., you got a big-time leg up. Wow. Colson, we can...
I got a newborn. I can't get injured.
Get the old arm. That's a good
One
point.
time in 27 years, you're going to be fine.
Oh man, this is so awesome. If people want to find out more, basically you could search Google Roofball. There's videos. It takes you to the website. And anything else interesting that we're missing, Adam, on this?
I mean, I think the video is going to show you what's interesting about it or not interesting about it. Whether you love it or think that it's the dumbest thing ever, and sometimes people can think both things. It's all about watching the videos and just seeing if you enjoy it. Biggest thing I'll say is we've never had a tournament in Canada. We really want one. Anybody up there that has a roof and about 12 people that want to play, you got the shot of being the first ever Canadian national champion. So give me a call.
There we go. In the winter to boot. Let's do it when it's minus 40 out. This has been great. Don't know. Maybe we'll have you on again. I don't know. Maybe there will be a Canadian championship. Really appreciate your time today, and this has been a lot of fun.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate having me on.
There he is, Roofball co-founder. What a story. Colson, there we go. We've been talking about it for years.
We just got to find a roof now.
Yeah. Well, if the video's out there, they make like the shell roof with the stack that was based off the original house. It's quite fascinating. We were Roofball when Roofball wasn't cool, as I like to say. So great. It is the Sports Cage. We are coming up to the top of the hour. We're streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com and on the home of, Roofball in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Saturday is game day as the Riders take on the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Countdown to kickoff with Tegan Whitco and Wes Cates is at 2. The pregame show is at 4. And kickoff with Luke Mullender and I is at 5. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network is brought to you by Sask Lotteries, Agco Corporation, Bayer Crop Science, Quality Tire, and Sask Energy. Stream every moment of Rider football at sportscage.com.
Winter in Saskatchewan tests everything, our patience, vehicles, and sometimes our bumpers. From icy parking lot dings to serious highway mishaps, choosing local matters. At Regina Motor Products Collision Center, we're Saskatchewan owned, run, and we drive these roads too. An SGI accredited full-service collision center working on all makes and models. Submit your SGI claim and book your appraisal. It's easy. When you need repairs you can trust, it's neighbors helping neighbors. Regina Motor Products Collision Center, south at Highways 1 and 6 Albert Street, rmpchevrolet.com.
Great coaches make great calls. And at home, you're in control of the game. Add SaskTel TV to your lineup and enjoy popular channels, including sports in stunning 4K for as low as $40 a month. So, what do you say, Coach? Ready to add in the difference maker? Visit sastel.com/make-the-call to learn more. Conditions apply.
Getting insurance is one thing, but making sure you're actually covered the way you think you are is another. At Lakeview Insurance, Scott Schultz and his team help you get a second opinion on your coverage so you know what you're protecting. It's about protecting what you've built. Talk to Lakeview Insurance today.
Welcome back to Sportscage. Check out our podcast powered by Freeze Tolman. Available anytime, anywhere at 620ckrm.com and sportscage.com.
All right, Sportscage time. Here's what... Oh, Prairie Land Rentals text line. I wish I would have saw this. Great question from Scott up in Saskatoon during the Roofball interview. Has anyone ever dropped the mitts during a Roofball match? There's no really mitts to drop, but good question. Man, how many people... The algorithm of the website... they're going to be like, what are all these clicks from Saskatchewan? Over that, Adam's going to be like, yeah, I was on this on the show up there. No Canadian championship, Coulson. No Canadian championship.
Here's our opening.
Riders, here we go, in Hamilton, Sunday. It's time to play Pick the Score. Can we do that? Pick the Score. 936-6262. If you haven't won anything on this radio station in the last 30 days, you call in now. Coulson's going to grab 936-6262 or 1-866-767-0620. You get tickets to the next Rider home game, and you get to play Pick the Score. If you're the closest one, you win a $200 SaskTel gift card. Thanks to our friends at SaskTel for that. If you missed it earlier so far, you can go back in podcast form and listen to it. We had in hour one Craig Button come on and talk about the Hlinka Gretzky Championship, Maddox Schultz, Liam Pugh, what they did there. Great interview with TSN hockey analyst Craig Button today. In hour two, to start this hour, we had Chris Streveler on, former NFL, CFL quarterback, now doing great things in the broadcast world. He's got a great little YouTube channel. Strev came in. We still have Jock Wilson in hour three from QR77 and our midweek sound off with Scott Schultz, the old 96er, coming up in a moment. As we wait here, I think we have someone on the line for SaskTel pick. We got the lines are lighting up. Coulson is figuring out all that. Don't forget, and I'm going to have to ask Jock about this tomorrow night. I'm really intrigued about this BC Calgary football game and a Joe, former Rider, back. He's in the lineup. He's supposed to be in the lineup for Calgary. The other thing tomorrow night is Dante Myers should be in the lineup for the Cincinnati Bengals in a preseason game as well. We're going to cover that on Friday, talking to one of the broadcasters covering the Cincinnati Bengals down there to kind of get a gauge, because he's been turning some heads. So I was positive that we were getting him back. Now, not so much. Coulson, pick the score?
Yep.
Who do we got?
Cindy in Regina.
Cindy in Regina. Cindy, have you ever stood in line for a long time to meet anyone, or would you stand in line for like a couple hours to meet a celebrity?
Possibly.
Who would you want to meet?
I have no idea.
Putting you on the spot.
You kind of put me on the spot.
Who's your favorite musical artist or actor or athlete?
Richard Gere is my favorite actor, so yeah, I'd probably wait in line for him.
Yeah, big. How many times have you seen Pretty Woman?
Multiple.
Okay, I won't put you on the spot anymore. Pick the score. What do you got this Sunday? Hamilton, the Riders in there. What's your score?
37-32 Riders.
Oh, a high-scoring affair. All right, Cindy. Stay on the line. Colson's going to get your information. You got 2 tickets to the next Rider home game, and you're in to possibly win a $200 SaskTel gift card. Another high score. She thinks Hamilton's going to put up some numbers on the Rider. Colson, I think we're going to get we're going to go Johnny Johnson, right? Dave Thomas at practice today. Gets a one-on-one with Double J Johnny Johnson.
Johnny, want to talk a little bit about the game last week. Some call it your coming out party. I think it's just more of the same. How did you assess your effort?
I think it was a collective, team win. Definitely balls came my way. I made some plays. It just happened to turn out that way. Football is, it could be different every night. So, just staying ready for those opportunities helped me have a day like that.
You obviously had to show your knowledge of the playbook, moving around to different positions. How much pride do you take in that?
A lot. There's a lot of guys here counting on me, so I take that very serious and knowing my job, so that I don't get nobody else hurt or hurt the team and affect plays in the wrong way. So being on the playbook has always been something that I take a lot of pride in.
There was a lot of times where you'd go into a tempo session or a no-huddle offense. How does that affect you as a receiver as far as the rhythm of the game goes and making sure that you're on the same page with your quarterback?
We rep it every day, so I think it actually helps us. It makes us play fast. Defenses have to play basic coverages, so, it helps us a lot with just getting out there. The defense playing a plain coverage, not really trying to confuse Trevor, not really having time for that. So I think it's an advantage for us for sure.
There seemed to be a lot of communication going on between the receiver group. Was that just because there was a lot of new faces, or is that just something that maybe we just noticed for the first time?
I think you guys are just barely noticing it. That's something we do every play, whether it's practice or game day. Getting out the huddle, communicating, just so, guy may have a brain fart, guy may have a hiccup that he just, doesn't know what's going on, and we just give him that reminder real quick.
You're showing your versatility on kick returns. Do you enjoy it?
Definitely. Another opportunity to touch the ball, another way to affect the game, and positives for that.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sport, 1425 McIntyre Street, the Cooperator Center, Moose Jaw Temple Garden Center, and online at extremehockey.net.
Hardball up in Saskatoon tonight. The Berries hosting the Miller Express, with the Berries leading the best of 3 division final, 1 rip, 7 p.m. start time on the west side, Cairns Field. Major League Baseball in Toronto, Blue Jays and Red Sox. Can the Jays do it again? 2.5 back. What is going on? At the Canadian Junior Boys Golf Championship going on at the Wascana here in Regina. Man, some of these kids are just going off. We gave a shout out in Clutch Performer, Sasky boy from Swift Current, Matty Schmeese, a tidy 72 today. He's sitting tied 37th. We got Thomas Hungzhou from Vancouver and Chase Strang from Airdrie at -7, along with Bray Rogelzik from Innisfail at -7 and Michael Vivon. Wow, these kids are going low. And also Austin Nesbitt from Pilot Butte. I'm just trying to... He's coming back now. Austin is sitting even on the days, +1 on the tournament, sitting at 16th hole. It's for Extreme Hockey and Sport, fully stocked gear for 2026, and I'm talking fully stocked. Female gear. You got a female hockey player? There's female-specific gear, hockey sticks, new arrivals from CCM, Pro Stock sticks as well. You get fitted by experts. They work with any budget. Extreme Hockey and Sport, 3 locations, locally owned, McIntyre Street, the Cooperators, and in Moose Jaw. If you need hockey gear or sticks in Moose Jaw, they're at the Temple Garden Center. Local focus, locally owned, under new management. Okay, Crofty is on the line. It's the time of the week for Hit. Crofty, you ever stood in line to meet a celebrity when you were younger, or would you?
Hey, fellas. No, I don't remember ever actually doing it. I would. There's probably a handful of celebrities I'd like to meet or have a pint with. That's for sure.
My next question is who?
Well, I heard somebody say Garth Brooks. That one for sure. Wayne Gretzky. I mean, any Canadian hockey guy would stand in a huge line for that. After that, I don't know. There's a few other hockey guys. Probably more the ones that have passed on that you'd love to be able to go back in time and have a pint with.
Yeah.
Ask some questions, tell some stories. But, my favorite celebrity is you, Barty. So I get to see you all the time.
Yeah. Oof. What a thrill that is. Okay, what's going on at Croft Electric these days?
Well, we're busy. Well, in the middle of our preferred customer program, like getting people signed up for that. We're in this August. I don't want to call it a lull because we are busy, but it gets a little quieter. We have 2 people on holidays. A lot of our clients and engineers and architects and customers are all taking time off before their kids go back to school and they come back from summer break. So now's the time to be starting to think about those fall projects because we got time to come out and take a look at them, do a price up for you. And then, our farm friends, they're looking at their crops, watching them start to turn and starting to think about harvest. It's the same thing. Start thinking about your electrical while you have a little time. We'll take that off your plate.
How far out will you drive? Is it kind of all of southern Saskatchewan or wherever the job goes, you'll go?
Yeah, we will. We've been everywhere in the province. We've been as far as Black Lake, like where you can literally see the Northwest Territories, all the way down to both southern corners of the province. I just had this conversation with one of our dirty persons. We have the best trained electricians in Regina in the province, I believe. And sometimes people are like, "Well, I don't want to pay you, an hour to drive to my place to do this." But we'll save you time, and we will save you that money later on, right? Some of our, the further out clients, I got a buddy down the road that does my stuff. Well, and I'm sure he's a good guy, but does he know all the latest codes and all the latest techniques and all the latest materials? Can we make sure that whatever it is, your business, your farm is ready to roll when you need it? And will he be available when, maybe he's a farmer too. Maybe he's harvesting and he can't come fix your grain dryer. Yeah. If we've been there, if we've done it, we can come because that's what we do full time. Find
them online, Croft Electric, all the socials, and they can always just give you a call too, right, Crofty?
For sure. Give us a call, 306-586-1333. And like you said, the socials, and check us out on the web at www.croftelectric.com.
Okay. I'll bring some 8x10 glossies on Saturday. Give you an autograph. Talk to you then.
Love it. Bye.
Croft Electric. All right. Hour 2 in the books. Hour 3's coming up with, live in studio, Scott Schultz. It's a Sports Cage. We're back after the news.
We are 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station. Streaming online at 620CKRM.com.
The news is brought to you by Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, home of Saskatchewan's biggest selection of Ram trucks and Jeeps. CrestviewChrysler.ca.
News is brought to you by Echo Sound in Fort Capel. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer. Call 306-332-6711.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. Mostly cloudy and 22 degrees in Regina. I'm Will Manzik from the SAS Today newsroom with 620 CKRM News. Regina police have charged a second person in relation to yesterday's homicide. It happened yesterday morning in the city's north central when police say they responded to a report of 2 people who had been shot. When officers arrived to the 1100 block of Elphinstone Street, they found a 42-year-old woman and a 37-year-old man dead outside a residence. Now, police say they've charged a second person, 42-year-old Rose Parvier, with 2 counts of second-degree murder. Earlier today, police say they charged 19-year-old Patricia Stevenson with 2 counts of second-degree murder and weapons charges. Back in 1906, Carol Lafayette Boyd's grandfather moved to Regina, becoming one of Saskatchewan's first black settlers. Now, 120 years later, the city is changing the name of Armour Road to Lafayette Road. Lafayette says they actually tried to change the name of Rosemont Park instead.
Being that we've all lived in Rosemont for over 70 years, I guess, that they rename Northwest Boulevard after my brother and rename Rosemont Park to Lafayette Park because it wouldn't take much to rename those places.
No date has been provided for when the street name will officially change. Saskatchewan RCMP have laid charges after an investigation found nearly 200 cattle with altered or fraudulent brands in the RM of Martin. Police say Livestock Services of Saskatchewan started moving in on the case and reported the issue in early July. A joint investigation determined that 99 cattle had altered brands, 98 carried and 98 carried fraudulently applied brands. 52-year-old Kelly Stephen has been charged with altering a cattle brand and fraud over $5,000. Police say they're committed to investigating livestock crime in the province. And the Salvation Army Regina's backpack program is facing a funding shortfall. With donations at 55% of its goal and more than 1,300 students registered for help, the program has supported local students for 15 years. Organizers say each backpack is tailored to the student's school and can cost more than $100. Supply costs have risen close to 20% over the last 2 years. Tim Fraser with the Salvation Army talked about the issues they're facing this year.
So we've been really facing a decline in donations this year. I think families from those who are struggling to provide resources for their own families to trying to still be able to help other families is really seeing an impact just across the board.
A $60 donation can provide one student with a backpack and school supplies. At 6:20 CKRM News, read more stories from around your community and around the province at sastoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Weather is next.
Matt Fisher here, General Manager at Crestview Chrysler. You know, our staff here is the best in town, so anytime they're ready for a new vehicle, they get the best price. For a limited time, we're giving that same discount to you. And you know what that means. You pay what we pay. We got a huge selection of Ram trucks, Wranglers, Durangos, Pacificas, and everything in between. If you're shopping for something new, this is officially the best time to stop in and see us. Don't miss employee pricing at Crestview in Regina.
Come on.
What happened?
Broken strings again.
That's the third one this summer.
Maybe the beach doesn't like your solos, man.
Hey, man, while you're changing that up, we're going to head to Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer.
Get connected with SaskTel Internet, Max Stream TV, and the latest cell phones. Laptops are in stock at great prices, and once they're gone, prices are going up. So now's the time to buy. Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel. EchoSound.ca.
Weather for next-gen coatings. Spray coatings for truck bed liners, rocker panels, and more. Same company, new name. 1865 McCarra Street, Regina. And Kevin's Marine. Make the most of summer with a boat or pontoon from Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel. kevinsmarine.com.
In your precision weather forecast tonight, partly cloudy, a northeast wind between 10 to 20 kilometers an hour, a low of 10. Tomorrow, cloudy, a chance of showers, a northeast wind between 10 to 20, a high of 20 degrees. Tomorrow night's low 13. Friday, showers, a southeast wind between 15 to 25, a high of 17. Saturday, partly sunny, a high of 21, and Sunday, partly cloudy, a high of 23. Across the province at this hour, Saskatoon 21, Swift Current 17, Assiniboia 17, Broadview and Moosomin 23, Yorkton Melville 21, Estevan 23, Weyburn 23 degrees. Right now in Moose Jaw, there's some light rain showers. A northwest wind is 17 and it's 18 degrees. In Regina, it's mostly cloudy. A northeast wind of 14. and it's 22 degrees. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to the daily newsletter at sastoday.ca.
For over 40 years, you've known them as Regina's trusted vehicle protection specialists. Now they're introducing the next gen of coatings. New name, new level of protection. They're now Next Gen Coatings. 3 generations of their family have served your family, and that hasn't changed. Same owners, same commitment, ready for the next gen of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards. The company hasn't changed, just the name. Next Gen Coatings. 1865 McCarra Street. The next gen starts now.
At Kevin's Marine, the lineup is stacked and ready. Legendary Lund boats built for serious fishing and non-stop family fun. Stretch out, crank the tunes, and cruise in style on a brand new pontoon from Bentley or Crest. Or drop the throttle and make waves in a 4-wind sport boat. All powered by trusted Mercury 4-stroke motors. Right now, manufacturer rebates, dealer discounts, and low payment financing. Make decking easy with Shoremaster aluminum docks and lifts. Visit Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel or kevinsmarine.com.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Regina Motor Products. RMP summer offer on now until August 31st. Receive a $25 SO gift card with purchase of a vehicle health check and oil change package. Visit RMP today. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
It is for Regina Motor Products. Welcome back. All of our guests are joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. You're driving home right now. I know you don't want to cook. Western Pizza, grab a wheel, maybe the Greek favorites you love. Oh, think about a nice all-dressed Western Za right now. Maybe a number 2, the Deuce. Suvalaki. No, we got Jock Wilson coming up on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline later this hour. We'll talk Calgary. Big news in Calgary today. If you missed any of this show, first off, you find me a show that's had one of the top NHL and hockey analysts on, one of the up-and-coming, possibly broadcast stars in football and Canadian football, come on, and Roofball, the organizer of Roofball on the show. Yeah, hard-pressed to find that. You can go to this podcast forum for Freeze, Tallman Lumber, and Fort Capel and Regina delivery available. They're the sponsor of the podcast where you can watch it again on YouTube later. All right, it is that time of the week where we're not going to go to the Western Pete's guest hotline. He is in studio. Let's fire it up with the old 96er.
The Midweek Sound Off, powered by Revive Men's Health Clinic. Treatment for men's ED without pills or surgery. Discreet and confidential. Visit revivemd.com. Lakeview Insurance. Get a second opinion on your coverage with Scott Schultz and his team. Protecting what you built.
All right, Schultz, you came into the studio today.
Oh, yes.
And a gentleman, let me get the story correctly. A gentleman met you here and had a pie for you outside?
Well, it all stretches back to July at the Weyburn Oil and Gas Show. Okay. Gather around. I got a story to tell. No, you meet lots of folks, and there's a kindly elderly gentleman that was at the show and handing out pies, and he caught me with my glorious Grey Cup ring, shilling insurance. So he came over for a chat, and he said the next time that he was in Regina, he's going to bring me a Saskatoon berry pie. Well, he calls me out of nowhere today and says, "Hey, I want to meet you. I got this pie. I don't want to take it home with me. I'm in town." And so I told him I was busy, but I could meet him at the radio station. So he brought it down. So I brought this glorious, beautiful Saskatoon berry pie. It is in the break room at Harvard. So everyone dig in and enjoy.
I saw it back there. It's in a nice glass, what is that, pie pan?
Oh, it's heavy duty. Like, I thought this guy was going to come in with a tin plate and kind of a thing, and it's going to be all... This guy knows what he's doing.
Because now he probably expects that glass plate back.
Yeah, I don't know if that's happening.
Well, we're not in the business. I don't know. Maybe somebody is. Maybe it'll be on Facebook Mark. I think we would give it. But it's like the Seinfeld episode where Kramer gives his leftovers in the Tupperware to the homeless guy, and then he wants the Tupperware back.
Yep.
The guy's like, no, that's not how it works.
No, we're going to repurpose, use that pie plate for something interesting.
We don't think we make a lot of pies around here, but yeah, no, it looks great. All right, before we get into football, any other talks? Also, if you got a question for Schultz, fire away on the Prairie Land Rentals text line, 936-6262. We got him in studio. He'll answer them. Where do you land Wednesday? I was asking people because of that Brock. Did you see the lineup? When it was back in May.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar out at the hardware place in Emerald Park. No free plugs. And it was lined up.
Yeah,
people waited 3-4 hours. I think.
Well, that's my community. I live out in White City. And I had no idea that was happening. We stop into the Home Hardware every couple of weeks, but once it hit, it was wrapped around the block and it was pandemonium.
Wrestling. UFC, I think it is a big draw. Have you ever, remember when you were a young kid, did you wait in line to meet anyone? Remember meet anyone famous doing anything?
Being a local kid, I never really met any big famous guys until I got a little bit older. But the one I remember all the time was Bill Wright, and he used to be on a show on CTV called. Was
it CTV or CBC?
I think it was CTV.
Okay.
It was CTV. It was called Switchback.
Oh, absolutely.
And they used to have this contest called Make It. They would call out during the show, and if they called your house, you're supposed to pick it up and say, "Make it quick! I'm watching Switchback," and then you would be imbued with a bunch of weekly prizes. And so I always was primed trying to meet Bill, and then finally my dream came true. When I was with the Roughriders, he came on into the family and it was able to help out. So every time I see him, I shake his hand and I say, "Make it quick, I'm watching Switchback." And I think it rubs him the wrong way, but I keep doing it. I love it.
Bill Wright, I'm a Saskatoon kid. I remember Switchback came up there the one year, and all the Saskatoon listeners, like Scotty and that, are in my demographic. It was at the Place Riel Theater at the U of S campus, and it was a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't remember if I went or if they said no. I think it was no, you can't go. But that phone call, or when you're watching that show, and who knows, probably staged. Yeah. How many of those were staged? But I just remember the phone on the wall, and you're watching it, and you're watching the phone, and then Dad rolls around the corner shirtless, calling up a buddy, or a phone call rings. It's like, "Make it quick, I'm watching Switchback." It's like, "Is Smokey there?" It's like, "No, I thought this was the show.
Who the hell's calling me?" You hang up.
Colson, you have no idea, because back then it's just the old thing that we talk about, Schultz. We had 3 channels.
I know.
So a show like that,
and we'd get Toledo. We'd get Toledo news.
We had Detroit. We had Mel Farr Superstar commercials and Bernie Smilovitz doing sports.
Listen, we had WDAZ. We were watching Detroit, and then we would get Toledo. And in fact, I actually turned down a visit to Toledo. I was all charged up. I was going to go to a visit to Toledo for a scholarship. And that week on the local Saskatchewan news, there was a recruit that went down there the previous week and got shot. And so we rescinded our acceptance. Toot sweet. True story. That's an absolute true story. Absolute true story.
This stuff doesn't happen if you don't come into the studio.
No,
story. I'm not laughing about
listen,
guy getting shot.
The guy survived. It's Toledo. He wasn't downtown Detroit 8 Mile, but Toledo's pretty rough and tough.
Oh man, I remember the sports would roll on. It's like, and we throw it down. Bernie Smilovitz is down with Sparky Anderson.
That's Sparky Anderson. I remember that. That's how I got turned on to Barry Sanders, because you'd get those highlights.
Yeah, and the Red Wings stunk.
Yep.
Like Greg Steffen and net, and they couldn't win a game.
No, forgetting as I got older and into sport, then the heroes, the popular people that I thought were stars, I got to meet Roger Aldag, I got to meet Poley, I got to meet, of course, Bobby Jurison and Gerald Bayless. So Rough Rider guys, those were the guys that I wanted to meet.
The Toledo story could be another. You could put it on the list as an all-timer. Were you at the game live last week?
I was up until half. We had a little stomach. Maybe it was the lettuce. I don't know. I don't eat much lettuce. Who am I kidding? But it was something. Probably a poutine. But I did listen to the rest of the game and then watch it when I did get home. And it was fantastic.
Well, the first half was a little bit of a yawner.
A win is a win, right? 42-20. I mean, don't be fooled by Harris. I mean, going into this week, 401 yards is a lot of yards and whatever. But I think we need to get back to that balance. We got to get that running game going, and because we're going into that part of the season when you're playing some of these teams that are desperate. The records aren't as sexy as they want them to be. But we have to think about keep our eye on the prize. You can't play down or adjust to play to these broken teams. We got to keep working on our skills, our game plans, and how we're going to win this thing and bring it home.
If you are, which I'm sure you've been in those games on either end, you're on the sideline there and you got this Ottawa team coming in. They're kind of sniffing around. It's like 6-3. Things are still tough. I don't think Jake Mayer's that bad of a quarterback. No? He's always under pressure. Poor guy. But you're sitting there on the sideline and you're ready to play, or you're maybe on the field and they do something where they can't even get the snap right. It hits the running back and all that. Are you going, wow, these guys are bad?
I hearken back to the advice I got from Bob Vespasiani, famed CFL GM coach. He said to us in the D lineman locker room, "Men, remember this. You can lacquer a turd, but it's still a turd." And that's what happens. You can shine these guys up and dust them off, and you got to have that positive attitude going into the next week. Because I talked to some of my buddies. These guys could be 0-11. These guys could be 0-12. Have you looked at what's ahead for Ottawa in the next 3 games? So, yeah, it's tough. But the thing of it is, and it's like the story retired athletes tell their kids, don't take it easy on bum teams, son. Yeah. They'll come back and get you.
Yeah.
And I've been a part of those ones where they do come back and get you. And so you got to stay focused and you got to deliver.
How wild is it where we have last week and we talk about, injuries to our stud receivers. And then it's like, all right, well, we got Deshaun Mims, young guy, Regina, a local guy. And we got this Dylan Jette, and we've called him DeJette, and we've called him how many different names, and he's from Quebec, and he's like, okay, we got 2 Canadian kids. And then by the end of the game, I think as Rider fans, we're just like, yeah, we're pretty good.
Yeah, go back to the wealth of experience and talent.
The receiver beanstalk in the back.
Dude, it's nice, and it's great to have an embarrassment of riches at times. But the thing of it is, and I know, all these things come back to roost. So you just got to take it easy. Let's not get too excited. Those young guys did a great job. Albeit that's the time that you need them to do a good job. When you're going up against a team like Ottawa, you get a chance to give them reps. Now, they were forced the reps because of injury. And all that's doing is just building our second and third string for the late in the season.
Yeah.
That's all it's doing. It's just slowly but surely just open the lid, do a quarter turn. We're making some adjustments. We're going to shut the lid, and we're going to keep on trucking. And I like it. I like to see that. And the professionalism is where Mace has got them to the point where they're believing in the system. They believe in what they've got, and they're just going forward, doing what they do, not what anyone else does.
What did you see from that defensive line?
Again, it's just, there's, you got Roberson come in there now, and they've got guys, they're moving around.
You must be watching him closely. Maybe let's just start there. What are you seeing out of him?
Great get off. The guy's got a motor. But, the thing of it is what I kind of see a little bit too, and, it could just be me if you want to be picky, but, the guy's played a lot of football, and then he's coming into a new league, a new season, and extending that play time. So guys can get churned up and beat up a little bit, but I think he's getting to the ball. He's getting some pressure, but we got to start racking up. We got to start finishing plays and stopping those, because they're big plays. You get quarterbacks in that second and long yardage, and it's a tough one.
It is Schultz joining us here, midweek sound off for Lakeview Insurance and Revive Men's Health Clinic at Dion. on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. See, this is right. Let's just remember. After this weekend, I think the Riders in Montreal are the top CFL teams, then everybody else. Harris looks like he can work with just about any receiver. Montreal looks invincible. Riders, Als, Cup again. And I'm an Elks fan.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still feel like this league, and I know it's Montreal. Okay, yeah. And I know it's Salia, and I know Edmonton, but then I'm just like, you got Calgary, you got BC. Are they going to turn it around, and are they going to come
They're
up?
rabble rousers.
And then Toronto.
Well, that guy, how do you throw 4 picks, Chad, and still win the game? Like that, that's just stuff that just goes against the grain. But, I hate to say it, but again, I mean, the glass house of the Riders could be shattered. It's all about health, and it's all about the quarterback position. You talk about our guy. I mean, the skill level that Harris has and the ability to take those young guys, and if those young guys can run the route, get themselves in position, Harris has got the skill to drop it right in their breadbasket. And so, the quarterback is so important, and we've got to keep him clean, and we've got to keep guys off of him because we don't even want to think about the alternatives.
Do you think, and I was talking to Arash yesterday, that maybe we start some load management here. Let's get Cone some reps. Maybe it's still a tight game, which is okay because you're trying to grow as a team. So adversity helps it all. Do you think maybe that Harris? We've seen it with Tommy Stevens going in.
Yeah. Here's how I'd play it. I wouldn't really let that be known. I would have that as a thought in my process. Okay. And as the head coach, as the guy that's pulling the trigger, if the game presents an opportunity where we've got a lead and things are going the way it is, I'm going to pull the trigger and get my guy reps. I'm not going to put it out there and get everyone hot and horny and sexy about it and thinking and talking and causing that kind of trouble in the locker room. We don't care, right? We want our guy to do what he's going to do. But if the big man has it in his mind, which I'm sure that he does, and then you get into that, all of a sudden you're into a scenario where it's the last 3 minutes and we're far ahead. It's not. Now you gas him, you get him in there. Blow and go.
Lots of no huddle from the Riders, and they new defensive coordinator, right? Yep. For sure, makes sense. If we're coaching that game, that makes sense. As a defensive guy, what did you just hate besides the fact that you're out there the whole time when a team went no huddle?
Well, you just listen. Fatigue makes cowards of men. It's an age-old thing for war all the way to any sport you want to talk about, and when you start getting fatigued like that, there's just, look at any sport. Like, look at the UFC guys. The guys, they go out, they have a big sprint, and then they're wrecked for the rest of the... And that's what happens. You get out there on a series, man, and you get into a 8, 9 play. Oh, crap, now we're extended into 12 or 13 plays, and they're going quick count. It is not fun. It's one of those things where you better hope you have some depth and you can get some tap the helmet and get guys shuttling in and out. Otherwise, it's a long, long, long series.
Who did it a lot against you? Do you remember?
Oh, Calgary. Montreal was always, you think you're just going to get them. You're just going to, okay, we're off the field. Then poof, now they extend it. And that was the worst. To me, in the immortal words of Ron Este, Anthony Cavicchiol, the way that he would distribute the ball and how quickly he could get the ball off, when they weren't going,
hurry up.
It felt that way because he could get the ball. And Danny Mac was the same way. McManus, he could get the ball off in a second.
Did you ever go down, fake cramp or something?
Oh, we had the pigeon call. Pigeon. So Danny Barrett would, you get out there and if we need a break, and we don't have a timeout, I'm going to give the pigeon call. Someone's going down. I remember one time against BC, pigeon call comes in. I'm looking, no one's going down. I'm going down. My hamstring. And I just standing there waiting, right? And then I see the call, and then it was just out of nowhere. I fall down onto the start writhing in pain. And then you can see Angus Reid is he's clearly faking. Look at him. You got our timeout, but and then you go off for 3 plays, you come back in refreshed.
I remember coaching some hockey or whatever, and I loved it. There was always be a call to the goalie to fix his pad.
Oh, yeah.
For a little, if we get out of timeouts,
Yep.
it's like you'd yell something out, like, Prudhomme, Waka, whatever the town was.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, yeah. And then the ref skates all the way down, checks it, comes all the way back. Well, those guys just got a 40-second blow.
It's the trick of the trades. You got to know it.
You got to be inside and out. Tommy Stevens, man.
Oh, that dude is a touchdown scoring machine. You know, everyone knows what's going to happen. You know, he comes in there. You think he's going deep, guys? Nope. He's going Zark train, whoop whoop, straight ahead. And that's what he looks like. He's like the Zark. You know?
What is he? He's at 11. 23 is the record.
Yep.
Where do you land? Are we pushing for it?
I listen. I saw the stat come up on the TV where it showed, because of course Milt Stiegel calls the games or whatever, the half times and whatever, and they showed at this time of the year, our guys got 11. Stiegel had 10, to which he finished with 23. So I don't know. I think maybe we got some action.
I think you keep getting those little hat trick ones, those 3 games. Hamilton.
Yeah.
This,
junk.
I know, but I still think, I'm like, are they there? They can put up points. I don't know.
Yeah.
Harrison Frost, I don't know him. It's scary. What I don't know scares me.
It is. It's tough.
Yeah.
And who knows what the weather's going to be? I hope it's not hot.
So have you been to the new stadium there?
No, I haven't been.
Was the old stadium like Ivor Wynne?
Oh, it was a prison.
Doesn't it get like weird winds there?
The way it was situated, the same sidelines, the locker rooms were like a prison. I mean, I think it could have been a slaughterhouse in there where they used to cut down cows or something. It was not fun to go to that place. And then, of course, they got a new digs and all this stuff, but still pales in comparison to what the boys are working with here. And let's face it, nobody likes going out east. Nobody.
Huh.
Just cuz. And you know why.
I don't mind Montreal.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I hear.
Tommy and Poutine don't maybe.
They say lots of people go to Montreal, and it's like in the words of Theo Vaughn, yeah, but they leave. They come back. They don't stay. No one goes there and stays there. They're like, I'm here. They see what's doing, and they're like, I got to get out of here.
So Hamilton doesn't scare you this
No.
Even going there?
It scares me to the point of it's, hey, we're coming. There's concrete as far as the eye can see, and, the boys are in the big town all of a sudden, the big smoke. So if the guys can keep themselves in control, which I'm sure they'll have no problem. These guys know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's just, if you're a team that has the druthers to get out and get a little R&R in, this might not be the trip. But I think our guys are locked in. They know what's at stake. 7-2 is a lot sexier than 6-3.
Oh, big time.
And it's just, we got to keep it going. Just keep it going, one step at a time.
Credits in the till. You don't have to name names, but was there ever a player that maybe went on the Hamilton trip and played guilty?
Golly. We went to, put it this way. We went to Hamilton one year, and I'm trying to think of it. Ray, our D-end. Ray. Oh. After the game in Hamilton, he didn't make the flight. He was gone for 3 weeks, rejoined the team at BC, and came back and played. Ray Jacobs. Ray J, and I think had 2 sacks in BC.
No, he did. He just got inserted back in the lineup
after 3 weeks of being in the wind. And then it's like we're in BC 3 weeks later, and it's like we land, and it's like, oh, who's at supper tonight?
No way.
Ray.
No way.
Good to see you. Whoop, plug him right in. Boom, 2 sacks. Ray Jacobs. That would have been like what, 02, 03, whatever that was.
Jeez.
Oh, he was a delight.
Text line, Bert. Hey Barney, just FYI, Bill Wright from Switchback was a pretty good fastball player. Played second base, if memory serves me correctly.
You know who plays fastball? My dad.
I'm a big fastball guy. You give me a fastball tournament to sit and watch.
I just watched.
Gardens.
Yeah.
I love it. There's nothing. I've played both. You try hitting a rise ball from some of these guys from, what is it, 80 feet or not even?
These guys get after
and they jump. All right, so you got the Riders, no problem this weekend.
Riders, no problem. I'm thinking, it's going to be 30-something. Let's say, let's go 33. Let's go with Zarka. 33 to 24.
Okay.
In a sloppy late.
Cover.
Yeah.
No backdoor cover, just a cover. Roscoe wants to know if you're going to try the pie. So,
I will say on air that I will, but then
Up in the air?
But then the skeptical hippo eyes come out like this and go, maybe.
And Andrew's going, other car dealerships don't have the deals like us. They cannot fly either. Melfar Superstar. there we go. The old 96er. Okay, give a plug for Lakeview Insurance.
Hey, farmers, we're in the thrust of the growing season. Harvest is coming up.
Well, the guys have started harvesting.
Oh yeah, well you start all over, right? We got to get everyone to the finish line, and then after, that's when you got to review your policy. Give us a call at Lakeview Insurance. We can make sure we got everything cooking for you.
You'll bring the ring out. If they put it down a coffee and a piece of pie, you'll have it at their house though.
That's right. Pierogies and cabbage rolls, always welcome. Welcome.
Little side of sour cream. There he is. The old 96er, Scott Schultz joining us here for Lakeview Insurance. Call him. Also, Revive Men's Health Clinic, dealing with ED without pills and surgery. It's the Sports Cage. We are on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
Get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
Some people admire abstract art, but we'd rather admire Abstract Pizza, a masterpiece of pepperoni, smoky ham, crispy bacon, bubbling melty cheese, every slice a work of delicious perfection. And if your masterpiece needs a supporting cast, add tender ribs, hearty lasagna, or mouth-watering souvlaki on the side.
Western Pizza. Dine in or take out today.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
Is it time to refresh your cottage this summer? It's easy with lakeside deliveries from Freeze Tallman. Whether you're rebuilding the deck, fixing the dock, or taking on a full cabin project, Freeze Tallman delivers the building materials you need right to the lake. With reliable service and delivery you can count on, you'll spend less time running around and more time enjoying the weekend. Start your summer project at freezetallman.com. Freeze Tallman. Locally owned, family grown, rooted in our community for 70 years.
The world is changing. From the misuse of AI and the rise of deepfakes to the dangerous spread of misinformation, it's getting harder for Canadians to separate fact from fiction. That's why having a trustworthy news source is vital. At Global News, we're committed to objective journalism that cuts through the noise. Stick to the facts. Global News, Canada's trusted news.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
Bottom of the second inning, Toronto is up 1-0 on the Boston Red Sox. Another big one in Toronto. Baseball in Saskatoon, the Berries lead the best-of-3 series with Moose Jaw 1-0. Chance to wrapper tonight, 7 p.m. Sportscage.com poll. If you could pick one Rider road game to attend, where would you go? Vote at sportscage.com. For Steelcraft Doors, you know the drill. Prince Albert, Saskatoon, Regina. They're made in Western Canada for Western Canada. Steelcraft Doors. We still have Jock Wilson coming up from QR 77. But let's get going with the Junior Football Report and Dave Thomas.
This is the Sportscage Junior Football Report with Dave Thomas.
The Prairie Football Conference season opened with 3 games last weekend. In Edmonton, the Wildcats scored an impressive 27-6 victory to kick off the campaign on Saturday night. Turn the page to Sunday, and the defending Canadian champion Saskatoon Hilltops opened their season with a 38-13 win in Winnipeg. Running back Corbin Eben led the way offensively for the Toppers, racking up 215 all-purpose yards while scoring a pair of touchdowns on his way to being named the PFC's Offensive Player of the Week. It wasn't all bad for Winnipeg as linebacker Cohen Mikulski was outstanding, patrolling the entire field. He finished the game with 7 solo tackles and 2 assisted stops on his way to being named the PFC's Defensive Player of the Week. The final game of the weekend saw the Regina Thunder score a 56-1 win in Edmonton over the Huskies. Thunder first-year starting quarterback Jaden Zelionka was 18 of 25 passing for 252 yards and a pair of touchdowns, along with running the ball 4 times for 23 yards and a major. And Jaden joins us now. First, sir, congratulations on win number 1 of your PFC career.
It was a super good showing for game 1 and can't wait to keep going.
18 of 25, 252 yards in the passing department. Did things go as you expected?
Yeah, honestly, like our training camp was super good, and we put in a lot of work in our pass game, and I got to give it up to the 5 guys catching for me. Like, I'm only playing pass with them, and they're getting all those extra yards and all that, and I don't have time if it's not for the 5 up front.
When we talked with Scott McCauley earlier this season, he said, the secret's out. Everybody knows we're going to have a second-year starting quarterback. I don't know when the secret was broke to you or not, but it must be pretty special knowing that a young player like you has got the opportunity to lead this franchise.
Yeah, like it was broke to me kind of after spring camp. It was kind of the news was broken to me. And I was always like, I was stoked. I wish the season started the next day, and it was just kind of kept building and building, and then training camp started, and then it felt real. And then we went into week 1, and it was like super nerve-wracking because in grade 12 I got hurt, so I didn't play a full game. My last full game before that was in grade 11. So it was 3 years since my last full game. So I was super excited to get going.
So were the nerves going too before you took to the field for that first series?
Oh yeah, nerves are on a high. It was all sorts of emotion of excitement and nervous and just everything.
So you were playing in Johnson in your grade 11 year. You didn't get a chance to put anything on tape in grade 12. That must have been demoralizing mentally, no?
Yeah, I would say like even though I got hurt and that's a big physical struggle, the mental struggle was even worse. But I had really good coaches, and I was really close to a lot of the guys on the team, so I was still able to help out, and I like pretty much just became the quarterback coach for our team that year.
Well, your athleticism also stands for itself. What I've seen is that you're a pretty good basketball player too. Is that true? Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, I played basketball all through high school, and luckily I was able to come back for my senior year. So I played basketball in the senior year, and I was playing center in basketball. And yeah, we went all the way to like Hoopla, which is like the provincial final. We got second in that. I got MVP, and I played senior since grade 10. So.
At one point, did you have to make a decision between basketball and football, and what swayed you towards football if that was the decision that needed to be made?
It was always football. Like basketball is just something in the winter to keep my feet active and keep me good, but it's always been football for me.
How much of a gratifying is it to know that you've got a running back the caliber of Peter Boers standing behind you in the backfield?
It's awesome, especially like knowing that if maybe I'm off to a slow start, we have Peter and even Owen Istash. We have both of them that we can that we're able to rely on and kind of help me find my grounds. And Peter's been such a captain in the way that he's always talked to me like if I'm feeling down or if I'm feeling anything, he's always the first to talk to me and kind of bring my spirits back up.
Well, you definitely get your bus legs early in the season as you'll continue an Alberta road trip up in Calgary this weekend. What are you anticipating from the Colts?
They're a physical team. They always have been. Can't take anything lightly. Like even with their loss last week, it's only week 1, and you can't expect anything out of the ordinary for them. They're going to be a good team. They're going to be a strong defense, well coached. They have athletes, so we just got to go play Thunder football.
And when it comes to Thunder football and the offense, what do you need to do to be successful as an offensive unit?
Just all being on the same page. There's a couple plays in a couple drives in last week's game that we just weren't all on the same page, and if we can just fix those minor tweaks, that'll be Thunder football. Just ground and pound when we can, but also throw it in, like put it up in the air and let our receivers go make a play.
Well, completing, 18 of 25, over 70% of your passes in week number 1 is a pretty good start, Jaden. I appreciate you doing this. Congratulations on winning the starting job and all the best success this season.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Now, also in the Thunder game from the weekend, kicker Harry Case was named the Special Teams Player of the Week in his first CJFL game after landing in Regina from the United Kingdom. Case knocked through 6 field goals, tied for second most in a CJFL game. He also booted 5 converts and had a single point to finish with 24 of the Thunder's 56 points on the afternoon. All Week 2 games will be played this Sunday. Winnipeg will travel to Edmonton to take on the Huskies. Saskatoon will celebrate their 24th national championship in front of their fans when they host the Wildcats in their home opener, while the Regina Thunder continue their early season tour through Alberta. They'll play the Colts on Sunday afternoon. And that's the Junior Football Report. I'm Dave Thomas.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. Combined with a LiftMaster opener, it's the right choice. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. And a LiftMaster opener. 100% made by Canadians for Canadians. Steady, tariff-free pricing and great quality, no matter what.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
The Roughriders season is here, and the biggest 50-50 in Saskatchewan is back. Last year's 50-50 raised over $3.3 million for amateur football in Saskatchewan, and we couldn't do it without you. Thank you, Rider Nation. This year, we have bigger loyalty and early bird prizes than ever before, not to mention those life-changing 50-50 jackpots. See all of the prizes and buy your tickets today at riders5050.ca, and never miss a chance to win when you sign up for the 50-50 Club.
Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
Lottery license LR260010.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. Powered by Prairie Land Rentals. From power tools to skid steers, they probably have what you need for your job. 600 Albert Street, where you deal with the owner. Welcome back to Sportscage. Missed any part of the show? Check out the podcast powered by Freeze Tolman at 620ckrm.com and sportscage.com.
Okay, our friend Jock Wilson joining us from QR77 in Calgary. The news is out. The cat is out of the bag. Jock Wilson, I guess the Calgary Flames have a new home. It's a lot of, there's a buzz on social media about it, especially for Flames fans. What can you tell us about the deal that I guess was revealed today?
Well, listen, Barney, it's a new deal, but it's also an old deal because the Calgary Flames are technically coming home. You know, when the Calgary Flames moved from Atlanta to Calgary, they went to basically our radio station. I say our radio station because 770 used to be 810, and then they did transition to 770. And, of course, some of the best years of the Calgary Flames were right on these airwaves. Lanny McDonald scoring 66 goals, Joe Nieuwendyk scoring 50, the Stanley Cup in 1989, and I think most Flames fans will remember the legendary Hockey Hall of Fame voice himself, Peter Marr. You can put it in the win column, and yeah, baby, the Calgary Flames win the Cup on 770. So, you know, it was interesting. In 1990, QR lost the radio rights to Ralco Communications, and it benefited me because I was working for a rock and roll radio station here in Calgary, and I went over and I joined the Calgary Flames radio broadcasts on 66 CFR at the time. So it was great to connect with Peter Marr and Doug Barkley and Mike Rogers and Jim Poplinski and everybody that we had on our radio team. And then, of course, Ralco sold to Rogers Communications, and Rogers took over as the voice of the Calgary Flames until, well, Rogers decided to basically stick it to a bunch of radio stations across this country, eliminating 6 radio stations, killing 230 jobs the day after spending $4.3 billion to buy the rest of Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment. And that cost the Calgary Flames their radio partner with 960 going off the airwaves. So that brings us to today with the big announcement where, 770 is back, bigger and better. We're the home of the Calgary Stampeders. We're the home now of the Calgary Flames, and it's going to be a fun ride for the next 5 years.
Will there be a lot of juggling for QR77? Because, kind of people that aren't radio nerds like ourselves, right? Like there's programming and there's things set in place. And then now to do, 80, 90, however many games in total, there's going to be, there's a lot of juggling. I guess for your team and the team there, they must have had to move quickly because it hasn't been that long since it was announced. But then again, the season starts, in weeks or, a month away.
Yeah, if people were thinking, 770 was going to go to an all-sports format, that is not going to happen. And ultimately, we are now going to be the sports authority in Calgary because we do host the Stampeder broadcast, we do host the Calgary Flames broadcast, but it's not going to be 24/7 sports radio. We're going to have a Flames Talk program, I think, which is going to be kind of fun. We'll do the Stampeder football broadcast, pregame show, regularly, obviously the games and then the post-game show, and we'll do the same for the Calgary Flames. So, it's going to be fun, but we're still a news talk format that obviously is going to be very, very invested in the two major sports properties here in Calgary.
I think a lot of people are asking has there been any naming of a team or anything that goes with that, or that's all still being figured out?
Yeah, that is still being figured out. I think some people have put 2 and 2 together, and 2 and 2 usually makes 4. You had a pretty good play-by-play team, here in Calgary on 960, and obviously a very, very good host. But those deals are still being hammered out because there's, as you know, in this business, non-compete clauses and all that other kind of BS that goes on. So those are, we're going to have some more announcements coming up, but it's not going to be Jock Wilson, hosting the Flames broadcast like it was back in the 90s. I'll tell you that. Well,
come on, they got to give us a taste, a little, maybe on special occasions, special nights with Jock. Kind of, there's some marketing. No, it's great news. I know we have a lot of Flames fans that listen to the show here, so people are excited. Now, while I got you here, I got to ask you. Tomorrow night, we got the Stamps hosting BC. What's the deal with the Stamps lately, man? Because we've been talking about it, and it's like, when are they going to be a wagon? Can they be a wagon? We talked about it, Damien Alford back in the fold, but they're kind of allergic to defense. What's your take on the Stamps lately?
It's interesting because that's been a big topic on my show. The Stampeders have hit the halfway mark of the season, and if you would have told me at the start of the season, and I think I said this on your show, Barney, 4 and 5, it's not acceptable. Mm-hmm. It's not good enough. They have not lived up to expectations. There has been great flashes. They just can't seem to put the complete game together with all three phases, offensively, defensively, and special teams. There's been some really nice high points for the season, but, this team is going to have to pick up their socks a little bit in the second half of the season. Now, in saying that, their next 3 games are at home. You've got the BC Lions tomorrow night, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and then the Labor Day Classic against Edmonton. So there is still the opportunity. Defensively, this team seems to be coming together. They have won the turnover battle the last couple of games. They're scoring points, with their defense. Vernon Adams had an off game against the Toronto Argonauts. That was disappointing to see. But, there are some young players that are picking up their socks right now, guys like Zy Alexander and Ben LeBross. And I'm sure Rider fans have probably already seen the depth chart. Joe will make his Calgary Stampeder debut against the BC Lions tomorrow night. I tell you what, you look at the Canadian receivers, and I know Saskatchewan used to have the Canadian Air Force. I think that Canadian Air Force is now in Calgary. It's the depth of the Canadian receivers on this organization are very, very strong. I think what you're going to have to probably see is a ratio change on the offensive line. The offensive line has been the biggest disappointment. So if we can start more Canadian receivers and maybe put another American or 2 on the offensive line, it could turn the fortunes of this team around. But hey, 9 games still to play. I think it's pretty clear. Montreal and Edmonton, let me correct that. I think Montreal and Saskatchewan are the 2 best teams in the league. Edmonton is probably a close third, and then everybody else is battling for a playoff position, Stampeders included.
I don't know if you didn't listen to the game or maybe your cable got cut off last week, but speaking of Canadian receivers, we have 2, 3 on the shelf, and then we all of a sudden have this Deshaun Mims and Dylan Jette that come out of. So I think we might be able to trump in on this Canadian receiver thing here in Sask. But it's great for the league, regardless, Jock. Like whether it's the little kids growing up wanting to play football or just viewership to have the Canadian content as receiver. So I agree with you. One question that I want to ask you. What is Rene Paredes up to? Do you know anything about? He's a firefighter. We're people are texting us daily on what's he doing. Is there a chance? What do you know about him? Is there a chance he plays football again?
His firefighting days are over, unfortunately. He did fail a physical with the fire department, so that ship has sailed. We expected him, to be healthy enough to play this year, but Jude McAtamey, the Irish redhead, is making a name for himself. Big, strong leg, great on the kickoffs, and, obviously doing okay with the field goal range as well. Even if Rene Paredes gets healthy, he's under contract for the rest of this year. The Stampeders aren't going to cut him and do him dirty or anything like that. He will stay here, and maybe he gets a job in the organization as an ambassador or something to that effect. But if you were to ask me here on this day in August, I would say I don't see Rene Paredes playing another game for this organization. He has had a great career, a Hall of Fame career. But right now, I think it's time to move on because he just can't get healthy.
Could he be trade bait? Maybe.
Oh, it all depends on his health. But he's got a young family here in Calgary. Yeah. I don't think he would want to do that. It's not like Derek Moncrief, who is a little bit younger in his career, and his family's still in Regina, and he comes to Calgary to play football in the summertime. I would think at his age. Maybe not, but maybe he still wants to play. We saw it happen with Adam Bighill last year, so I guess never say never,
yeah.
But I would be surprised.
All right, Jock. Well, it's exciting times over there for you guys. It's nice to see. I'm sure we'll be catching up here down the road. Have a good one today on your show, and we'll catch up again.
You call anytime, my friend.
Ooh, there he is, Jock Wilson. From QR77 in Calgary. How about that little nugget he drops on the Sportscage listeners? Paredes, I've been saying his name wrong the whole time, by the way. Sorry, Renee. Not a firefighter anymore. Didn't pass his physical, allegedly. Interesting, but still maybe not healthy enough to play some tackle football. But, Jock Wilson, good news for everyone in Calgary. QR77 going to be home of the Calgary Flames. This is the Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Saturday is game day as the Riders take on the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Countdown to kickoff with Tegan Whitco and Wes Cates is at 2. The pregame show's at 4. And kickoff with Luke Mullender and I is at 5. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network is brought to you by SaskTel, the Cooperators Redhead Equipment, Prairie Ford Dealers, and Sask Power. Stream every moment of Rider football at Sportscage.com. The Roughriders season is here and the biggest 50-50 in Saskatchewan is back.